to movies and toys and TV shows, comics and collecting and superheroes. There's no end to the useless stuff they know. But don't call them geeks, they're just regular Joes.
Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
I'm still Todd Pleasant.
I'm Derryl DePriest.
And I'm Brian Mix.
Okay, everybody. It is the second episode of the Top 100. For you, it's been a week. For us, it's been 10 minutes.
We're more like a half hour and an extra drink in between.
Probably. So anyway, we've been doing this for 2.5 hours so far. So just bear with us.
And we're at the halfway point.
If
Yes,
you have
where we
not
left
yet,
you-
you want to check out the cocktail recipes that we have located that we have on regularjoes.com, and you can be as out of it as we are. Good.
You just committed yourself to getting that done, by the way.
I know that.
Yes.
I've got a file started, Todd. I'll send it to you.
Good. That's great.
So
We are now going to count down from 50 to number one. Last week was 51 to 100. If you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to it. That's episode 390.
a lot of surprises in that episode.
A lot of surprises, a lot of different stuff in there. Yeah.
And we are officially in our 8th year of podcasting.
Eighth year. That's what we decided. We designed this special
Very special episode.
thing,
just
a
for
very
you.
special episode where Marcia gets pregnant. No.
I thought we were talking about Barry's addiction.
Oh, this isn't an intervention?
Yeah.
I have a plastic addiction. My name is Barry.
So no doubt the next 50 will be awesome. And guess what? You know who's also awesome? Family Collectibles. Check them out. I know we're all patrons here.
That's right.
Some of us more than others, Todd. And it's all good.
Just gotta
'cause they
go
get
there.
everything.
I think Troy just renamed his warehouse the Pleasant Memorial Warehouse.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's this was Todd's retirement. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But all kinds of stuff. As Derryl just 5 minutes ago was doing an impression of me, they got pops and sideshows and not kotobukias. Lots of stuff. There's a bunch of batarangs, Todd. I'm sure you're interested in.
Yeah.
Oh,
both
there's-
Derryl and I are stepping up to the batarang.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's all kinds of good stuff.
Hot
Check
Toys
them out.
Mandalorian Artillery Stormtrooper. It looks awesome. I'm going to have to get that.
Todd, not Todd, the other guy.
And
What is that
since
like?
Needs
and
that.
since we've recorded this, even more new stuff. So
Yes.
I'm sure. Check them out, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out in their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them a regular Joe sent you. Okay. We're all on like third or fourth drinks. What's everyone drinking now? I'm going to, from my screen, Brian, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Gimli.
A Gimli.
What?
Nice.
Ooh,
Lord of the Rings drink.
Very,
Ugh.
that's
very
good.
nice.
It's really good.
I'm on my third blue milk. Thank you.
Holy
I've
cow.
been watering them down, not because of the alcohol, because of the sweetness.
Sweetness. It is a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
sweet drink.
Darryl, what are you drinking?
I am drinking the No Time for Love, which is the Indiana Jones inspired beverage.
I think if you really wanted to, you could take out an ounce of grapefruit juice and add an ounce of vodka.
I think that's
Might
You
a
could
be onto
probably
something
throw
there.
another
Put a shot of vodka in there.
Yeah,
No, there is
we're gonna
vodka in
there. There is
we're gonna
vodka.
Rename
No, I'm
it
saying
the
put
No
another
Time for
shot of vodka in it.
Consciousness.
You could probably put a liqueur in there if we do this again in 8 more years. When we do this again, you could put a liqueur in there. We'll come up with something weird.
Campari. I'm going to try Campari with that,
Oh,
actually.
that's sour. How about blood orange vodka?
Oh, maybe.
Just because you like a heart, blood. No time for love. No time for love, Chris. I just killed you. Todd, what are you drinking? You've been
I've got
doing
a
shots of
dark and-
Macallan.
I've got a dark and stormy as my primary, and then periodically and as appropriate, I'm going to be doing some more shots of the 77 Macallan. That
Jesus
I
Christ, you're
for-
gonna have a freaking hangover.
Wow.
From mixed
That's,
drinks to scotch. Ooh,
that's-
What's crazy is
Wow.
we've got him in control of the recording
That's
tonight.
right.
yeah, I'm just looking to make sure we're recording.
Yep.
And Barry, you're still drinking your
I am
Crown
still drinking
Royale
my
with cheese?
my Crown Royale with cheese. Yes.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay.
An endless supply of that. All
Yeah,
right.
it's a nice.
If you
bottle.
want to know how this is actually being calculated, go back to the beginning of next
Yeah.
week's show. We're not going through it again.
We're not doing that again.
Yep.
So-
and amazing. So Todd, I do need you to let me
Absolutely. Hang
We'll
on.
make him presenter again. Yeah, or
Yeah,
co-host.
so we've got a PowerPoint that I think will we make that available on the website?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
think
Why
we're gonna
not?
try to make this video available on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, check this video out on YouTube.
if you
it's
really
not
want to
there,
watch us
sorry.
react in real time,
Yeah. It might actually be interesting. Yeah. We'll let you know.
8 years we're gonna finally put our faces on this thing.
We'll put a link to the YouTube because we got to figure out what I think that the other channel, I think my channel has way more views because we have all our other movies on there.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Okay.
fine. We can put these videos there. The audio only versions go to the other one.
Excellent. So
Okay,
Good
we
deal.
ready to get going?
Do
Okay.
this.
here we
When
go.
we left, just to remind people, we left off with movie 51 was the Terminator. Huge controversy about that. Some people love it. Some people, think it's
Not so much.
think it's very overrated. Not so much.
That's
So
Todd, apparently.
in the vein of that, we'll I think we'll come up on a film number 50 that a lot of people universally love, and that is number 50 is Pulp Fiction.
Ah,
yeah.
speaking
Speaking
of
of my
Royale with cheese.
Royale
Yep.
with cheese drink
Royale
came
with
from.
cheese. Three of us had this on their lists.
Very nearly 4.
But I think, right. It was narrowly off a lot of people's lists. Very,
I think it's the
great
best
film.
Tarantino film by far.
I was
Yep.
going to say, I think it's the highest Tarantino film on our list.
I think it's the only
would
one.
think so.
it's
Yeah,
the
I
only
mean, I think
Tarantino film.
he was involved somehow in Usual Suspects, but he didn't direct it.
No.
So, and this film, I will say, felt way ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah.
When it came out, and I think still today, it feels, very a much imitated film. Like,
Oh
people
yes.
are-
I mean, the
I
whole
remember seeing it
non-sequential
in-
thing was very,
Yeah.
very out there.
I remember seeing it in theaters and thinking this is something I've never seen before.
Same here. Yeah, I came out of the theater I was like, what did I just see? But I don't know, but I loved it.
I think I saw the feature when I saw it. So that's film number 50, followed by film number 49, which is our highest rated comedy. Any guesses what it might be? What do you guys think?
Trading
Highest rated
Places.
No, Trading Places didn't make it, but
Spaceballs?
Ferris Bueller's Day
as
Off
well it should be.
did
Okay.
make
Yeah.
it. Four
Ferris.
of us had this. on
Okay,
our
so
list.
Dirty Little Secret. I forgot this film. I was like I had I think I had like 125 on my sheet, and all of a sudden it clicked in my head what was missing, and I was ashamed. It's like,
Did
yeah.
you
So
not
this-
go? I didn't have
so
it
this-
on my list. Did you not go add it back in, Todd?
Oh, I did. It's 37
okay.
for me. It's
Yeah.
it's way up on my list. But like I
Yeah,
said, the
it's
fact
on
I
my
that
like
list.
it.
missed
It's not my favorite.
just because I
teen
was
movie.
so genre film specific, focused. It's great.
This movie's become so ingrained in pop culture. I was at Kohl's
Yeah.
the other night, and
Yep.
they were selling Save Ferris T-shirts.
Oh yeah,
geez
I mean,
Louise.
Oh, sure.
it is the best film about teenagers in their 20s.
I don't know
All
about
right.
that, but I do love it.
That's a good one. Following number 49, at number 48, we have Captain America:
Yeah.
Civil War. So very, very strong film. This is right in the midpoint of the greatest 100 films of all time. So feels good. 3 of us had this on our list.
This is a film for me that has crept up every time I've watched it. It's really Avengers, 2.5, and
Yeah, it's definitely an Avengers movie.
it's
It
just great.
definitely is.
And I got to say, it is hard to watch this film and not juxtapose it against Batman versus Superman, which is a contemporary of it. And they did such a great job with the conflict in this and owning it and making it feel genuine and real. And yeah, it's very, very good.
I know
It's
we
interesting.
at the
Oh, go ahead,
time
Dave.
we asked the question, what team is everyone on? Todd?
I am still torn. And see, that's the great thing about this. There's a 1970s film that didn't do well, which is a really, really good film called The Molly Maguires. And what was wrong in The Molly Maguires? It was a Richard Harris, Sean Connery film. Is the protagonist and antagonist were equally you could see both their sides so well. Audiences did not know who to relate to. And the thing in this is, they're both right in some instances and they're both wrong. And they did a really good, there's a great balancing act in this. But
I mean, even some of the characters
I want
were
to be
conflicted.
Team Tony, but you got to be Team Cap. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
You can understand both sides. And that is how well this is crafted.
I'm looking at my list, and this was actually my number 51. So it is like right there, right in the middle of the list.
Yeah, I had it higher than that. I think I had it 22.
Okay.
All right. So coming in at number 47, we have The Maltese Falcon.
Brilliant film.
So brilliant film, and our highest film that has 2 voters. So Todd, you and I had this highly on our list.
Also
It is
black and white.
Brian, you must have
Wait a
had
minute.
it.
No, I had
Also
the Maltese
black-
Falcon on my list. I'm certain that
He's got the Maltese Falcon sitting on his kitchen table.
Let me take a look. Let me go make
It
sure.
might have been
I don't
Brian
wanna
instead of
see.
me.
Don't look.
I do love the film, but I might have missed. Did I?
It was probably
Oh,
Brian. and
it was
Darren.
Brian and I that had it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
that
it
makes
got
more
bumped.
sense.
I think it got bumped.
Yeah. Oh, Brian, it's your number 9 film. It's my 36th film. So it's obviously
Yeah.
very, very high.
It's a fantastic film.
It's another. It's the first film noir movie, and put Bogart on the map. Really, really good film. John Huston's first directorial
Yep.
movie, and of course it's got the Maltese Falcon, which is like one of the most iconic props.
Iconic
There
things.
are.
It is.
Yeah.
Is this black and
proto
white or color?
noir? It's
Black and
white.
white. It's pre-noir, but it establishes a lot of things for that era. One of the amazing things about this film is it's almost all dialogue. There's really not action in this film. It's just interplay between the characters.
Yeah.
But they maintain the tension so beautifully throughout it. And you get 2 pictures of, like, you get a shot here of on the poster of Bogart with like guns blazing, and it's not that. It's
No.
That's right.
This is because he was coming off being a bad guy. He was the heavy Machine Gun Kelly kind of character.
And he
in so many
basically
movies.
subdues Wilmer, and that's really the only physical action, and very
Yeah.
cleverly, but it's really the only
Wilmer
physical action in the whole film.
Valderrama?
You know, I've never
So-
seen the Maltese Falcon.
And
Oh, you're in for a treat.
it's
Yep,
really
you are.
It's great. It's great. So
So great film. Okay. Followed by Dave, you asked a question earlier, which is how many films are on all 5 of our top 100 lists? The answer is, I did some calculation during the break. 19 films
Wow.
were voted by all of us. They're on our number 5 on all of our lists. This next film is the first one, also the lowest rated, that
Interesting.
is on all 5 of our lists. And that is Wonder Woman.
okay.
So now I'm wondering if there's a reason, like, is this on here because it's, the first, I think the first true woman superhero solo film. That's important. It's a great film. It's a fun film, but it's not as high as, anything else we unanimously agreed to. So
I had it quite a bit higher.
It's the best DC movie by far.
It is. I think it's the best
Oh, without a
DC
doubt.
of the.
Yeah.
Put it this way: it's the best DC universe film. There's DC character films that are better. I think she did a terrific job with it. I think it's yeah.
I don't have many DC films on my list at all. I probably only have 3 or 4 in
We
total.
have-
So
This
Of
is
new
this is the
ones?
thing where
no, I'm just saying at all.
Yeah.
Any of DC
did a
characters.
major pivot with this character in this story, and that they took a character who emerged during the Second World War and backdated it to the First World War, and I think intentionally to kind of separate this from like the Captain America mythos
Yeah.
and
it was a
carry
good
it
idea.
off brilliantly. She
Brilliant,
actually
yeah.
works better in the era they dropped her in, and
Certainly better than she did in the 80s.
It's honestly, it's a shame because this was sort of this bright light of DC with promise, and then the second one sucked. That's a shame.
I mean, she
Yeah.
sucked his kind.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
But I
terrible.
mean, if you really get down to it, despite what Barry's going to say about the director's cut, this is really only good modern DC movie. I mean, the rest are just
right. Yeah, no,
Okay,
I'll
I don't
agree
agree with
entirely.
that.
This is the only one out of the box that owned it and did a great job with it. And it's got its own visual style. The characters come off the screen and resonate. It's great. It's great. And there's nothing, and here's the thing. This is a character with 75 years of history that they played with and they tweaked, but in no way violated the essential nature of who the character is. It was very, very good. So
I had one modern DC film actually higher on my list, and I'm sure it did not make the top 100.
So there are
Man of Steel.
Yes.
There are 4 DC films yet to come in the reveal, but none of them are DC Universe films. So this is the highest of their
because
movie universe
and
films.
shouldn't be.
Yep,
So.
exactly. All right, and I have
Let's
a special.
fight that. Let's debate
Except I
that.
really like Man of Steel, so suck it.
But it's an interesting comment that you make, Barry, and I have a very special analysis at the very end of the presentation. So everybody,
All right.
everybody, stick with it.
I can't wait for that.
All right. So following Wonder Woman, we go to our number 45 film, which is a kind of a cult classic. This is The Time Machine.
Nice.
Time
Awesome.
Machine appeared on 3 of our lists. I'm not sure it was on mine, but I do love this film. Very,
It was
very
on
good.
mine,
but I do
for
like
sure.
it.
Again, George Powell, and just a great.
Just like a timeless. You could watch this now and it's still good because it's
a
set
classic.
in the time. I love it.
And the time machine set piece in this is so beautiful and iconic, and it just like it's
Even
great.
though they stole it from The Big Bang Theory. I hate that.
Yes. It's a great episode of The Big Bang Theory.
All
I
right.
believe Bob Burns owns that
Hey,
time
hey,
machine.
And
Oh, he does. It's in
and-
Bob's basement.
Yeah.
Yvette Mimieux in this era.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. All right. So that's number 45. Following that at number 44, we have a modern classic. Whoops. Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
So, great film.
Always one of the highest rated movies on IMDb,
Yeah. Yeah.
if not number one.
I
It's
can-
always-
I can watch this endlessly.
you
How-
can
how
watch
many
this
people?
anytime it's on, you
How
can
many
watch it.
people put this in the list?
I did.
We had 3 people have it on the list. So
I've never
did
seen
too.
this entire film.
What?
You what?
what?
Wait, did you tell you? I saw the last third of it on a flight, and then I saw like the last third of it on TV. I've never watched it from the beginning.
You need to see the whole setup.
Your
I've
mind.
watched the last 2/3 on a flight, and I watched like the last 2/3 of it on TV one time, and it's one of my things that I got to go back and I've never seen.
Yes.
So you don't know why Andy Dufresne's in prison.
I do not. I have never seen the beginning of this film.
Wow.
You
Well-
have do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
I
I
think
once
there's a-
I once sent one of my employees home on a Friday and said, "Your homework for the weekend is to not to come
Yeah,
back
I know,
Monday
and
unless
it's-
you've
but it's
watched
also where the
Shawshank
thing-
Redemption."
It is also for me one of those things where it's got this epic proportions to it and stuff like that. And some night I got to sit down and watch.
Come on,
But-
if I watched Big Lebowski last week, you can watch Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I agree.
think,
I agree. No,
you know-
that tipped the scales for me. Yep.
Daryl said modern classic, and I think there's a handful of movies. Let's put genres all aside of modern classics, and this is one of them.
And what do you consider
Absolutely.
what do you consider modern era?
I'm not. No, I'm
30
just
years?
That's 25,
80s
yeah,
or
30,
90s,
25, 30
whatever.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Going
nine-
on.
80s on.
This is. Let's put again all the Star Wars and Marvel and science
Yep.
aside. There's a handful of sort of real modern classics.
Right.
I think Pulp Fiction is one. I think Goodfellas
Yeah.
is one. I think this is one.
Right.
Yep. All right. Coming in. So do yourself a favor if you haven't seen Shawshank, Todd. In its entirety.
I will commit
Watch
to
it.
watching it through.
All right. Coming in at number 43, we have The Road Warrior.
Yep.
Road Warrior, classic
Probably
film.
certainly the best and maybe the only really good movie in that trilogy.
I agree. The follow-up was a loud mess.
It was.
The precursor was what it was. Lower
It was
hard
budget.
was
to
a- it was a
follow
fairly
and
low
slow
budget,
and-
Yeah,
you
low
know,
budget.
Film, but that was
Origin
the thing.
story.
It's like, this is so unlikely to be what it is. It's just great. And
Yeah.
And it was weird back then. This
Oh,
is
it's
the
very
80s.
weird. I probably
It
have it
was-
a lot higher up than most people would have, but yeah.
Sorry, I'm slurping. I had it pretty high up, I think.
At the
Yeah,
time it came out, it
I
was
have
like
it high up.
nothing else out there. It was
Yep.
just
No, it was just
so
I
out of
gotta
left
say,
field.
I think
Yeah.
Dave and I like initially bonded over Road Warrior. I think when you had the diorama that you made, and right,
and you
At the-
used to dress like the humongous guy.
and
I
that
remember
was the
that.
thing. But I remember, like I said, you're showing me that when you were setting it up, and yeah, at the first con we were at. So
Great. So number 42 comes our next Lord of the Rings film, which is Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, which
Whoa.
might be my favorite. I like them all pretty highly, but three of us had this.
I think I had to put these in order because I feel like I don't know. To me, it feels like they belong in the order they came out in at least in terms of
I
my
like the Two
liking.
Towers the best, and I think I had Fellowship of the Ring down below because it now feels like a prequel, or now feel not a prelude to the rest of the story. It's really a lot of setup.
Well, it is. It's the whole,
Yeah.
And
it's the
it is really
introduction.
hard for me not to think of this as one film with three parts.
I think that's the challenge, and probably why these are a little hodgepodgey in the ratings. So I think that's
my problem. This movie had 5 endings, and
that is I
Yeah, it did.
agree. I agree. That's yeah. It felt to me sometimes like it was trying a little hard.
That's true. I agree. Okay. That's number 42. Coming in at 41 is the next DC movie, and that's Superman, the original.
The quintessential
the
thing,
best
that movie
Superman
that
movie.
started.
You sure you didn't mean to put Man of Steel there?
Yeah. I went high on this. I gotta say, I think this was in my top 20.
Yeah, me too. I had it way up there.
I had it 15.
Well, you'll believe
this
a
is the
man can
first
fly.
superhero film that you could take seriously ever. And
For sure.
and it's just great. It also holds up for its era. Yeah, absolutely terrific.
No,
and
mine
everything
wasn't
that
that high, but
followed,
I
not
did
so
love
much.
it.
I
It's-
agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
This also defines Superman in the way that that the 89 Batman defined Batman.
I like the 89 Batman film as a more important superhero film. And I know what you mean in that this film you
fixed
could
our
take
impression of who Superman was.
But this
Yeah.
still felt like that the studios believed in order to make a superhero movie, it had to be campy. I don't think they got out of that fully until they made 89 Batman.
I think it's a guy in red and blue tights. I think they had just the appropriate amount of cartoonishness to it, or comic-ish to it. I think they did a brilliant balancing job with this. I really do. For its time, I think it's like I said, I absolutely love this film.
I liked it when it came out, but I never loved it.
Yeah,
Really?
and I
Yeah.
gotta say it's fantastic. And
I
it's-
probably didn't rate it higher just because I've a problem with Superman as a character. It's never been my favorite.
right. Yeah,
and
Tough to get into it.
every person who plays Superman is compared to this one.
and always will be and
All
should
of
be.
them.
Yeah.
He imbued a humanity to this character and a vulnerability to his character that people just didn't see there, and it's what made it work. So
Well, it's funny that we follow number 41, Superman, with our number 40 ranked movie, which is Captain Marvel,
Oh,
which is
Interesting.
Wow.
pretty
which
high.
is the quintessential OP character in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's that high up on
that
the
is
list.
that's
Yeah.
boy. I thought I liked that film better than any of us, and I had it quite a bit lower than Superman.
Oh, I had
Three of us had it on their lists.
I had it. I don't know where I had it though.
Yeah,
And that to me is the movie that every time you watch it, I like it more.
it gets
The
better.
music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who thinks to put something in the 90s? It's just like the 90s were such a weird time.
But it works
It
perfectly
totally
for the
works.
character and how they introduced it, and it gave him breathing room. I think it's like I said, I like it a lot.
I
yeah.
agree.
Yep.
and it was such a brain bender when you saw it because where it fell, because she starts out as Kree, and it's like, wait a minute, the Kree are the bad guys.
Yeah.
That's a really great twist.
And doing it, introducing it the way they did, and working, tying everything in together. And it's I think they took the core elements of who this character was, kind of buffed it up, made it explainable, because it's not by any of this is a character who's had 5 like different identities over the years. They made this work really, really well.
And I think this is one of the challenges with all the Marvel movies is that there's so many good ones that it makes it so hard to pick a handful to make the list.
But what's nice about this sort of had that Winter Soldier, not a giant epic spanning movie, although it went places, but sort of a smaller character story. And she's quite handsome.
I gotta say, I kind of prize the standalone Marvel movies over others, because it just, if it can exist on its own, that's big.
Yeah, I try to keep my votes to origin stories on the Marvel movies.
And I'm very critical of ones that don't deliver, and this does.
I do like how it brought my sympathy to different channels, of the Marvel universe. It's in superhero universes, which I think DC has get caught in. It's so easy to just play it just so straight, but Marvel really has added dimensionality.
Some of the things they did in this, like with the Skrulls and stuff, was just was terrific.
The Skrulls is phenomenal.
Took this thing that you've seen since 1964, kind of turned it on its head, and you took what you expected and made it not. And very, very good.
Very good. Okay, so number 30, that was number 40. Number 39 is, I think it's the only black and white film we have left on the list. Any guesses?
It's Casablanca.
It is Casablanca. Great job. Great job, Brian Mix. So 3 of us had Casablanca on their list, and pretty high. Obviously great film. I love to watch this.
It's a
over
perfect
and over.
Movie. And I don't say that about many movies. There's a couple more in here I'll say that about, but this is a perfect movie.
It's a perfect movie made under very challenging conditions, and they did an amazing job with it. Yeah. I will always be a little bit in love with Ingrid Bergman. It's just,
well, now that you say Ingrid Bergman. So when I was in college, grad school, actually, I watched Casablanca, fell in love with Ingrid Bergman, went back and read her biography, watched the rest of her films.
I did too.
She was so phenomenal, for in everything she did. It's just
Did
amazing.
you go stalk her?
No.
Has the restraining order expired yet?
No.
I did get arrested for approaching Isabella Rossellini.
Yes. So her daughter,
you and Ross,
so
friends.
I have a crush on
her.
Too.
I have a friend, and I'll tell the story because I don't think I've told it, who had an obsession with Jennifer Beals. I went to college with him, so this was in the 80s. For whatever reason, he had an obsession with Jennifer Beals.
Big Flashdance fan.
He went, he was in high school, I guess. He went to Princeton. I think she was going to Princeton at the time. Found her, went in one of her classes, wound up having lunch with her and her boyfriend. I mean, this was like serious stalking.
Creepy stuff.
This is like when Teenage Dave went into Saturday Night Live just to see
Olivia Newton-John.
Yes.
That is. I didn't actually interact with her personally, but it's
but you did sneak into Saturday Night Live.
I did sneak into Saturday Night Live to see her.
All right. Okay. Now we're off.
Is Xanadu next? Because that would be appropriate.
Well, I don't remember where Grease was on your list, but it didn't make.
I don't think it was. I don't love Grease.
No, Grease 2. Grease 2 is on the list.
So coming in at number 38 is Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Wow.
With four of us had this on our list, so very high film.
Love that film.
Yep.
Yeah. I would have put Band of Brothers on, but it was a TV
show.
This
was an era when they said you could not make a World War II film anymore. You just it was, the stories had all been told.
That's right.
And they did an absolutely superb job with it.
Wonderful.
First 20 minutes of this movie are some of the most riveting film ever made.
It's brutal, yeah.
It's hard. That's why I don't watch it again and again. Is that beginning is so hard.
I won't watch the beginning. I'll try to jump in after that.
But Dave, that is another really great to demonstrate your surround sound system. That opening Omaha Beach scene,
and this was
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm due for another rewatching of this, but the time I've only watched this film once, but it sticks with me indelibly because of that intro. And I love it because it puts you in the shoes of what it would have been like to be a soldier, nothing else.
There were World War II veterans who saw this film who said there was nothing they ever saw that took them back to that experience like this did. And that just put it, in context like this film did. And just a horrendous thing that's unimaginable in those circumstances.
Yeah.
And yet they captured it so well.
Unimaginable.
Yeah.
So on a lighter note, we go to film number 37, which is our highest rated Spider-Man film. And any guess which Spider-Man film that is?
Homecoming.
Homecoming. It is Homecoming.
Homecoming.
So 4 of us had this on our list, so ranked very highly for Spidey film.
Great, awesome. And there's been, Tobey Maguire, at least the first and second one were good, especially in its time. But totally.
Exactly. I was very happy with those at the time. There were some things that I wasn't so happy with, but I thought they were, at least the first 2 were good.
Second one's awful. The third one's awful.
The third one is a textbook example what not to do in a superhero film.
Yeah.
But these just totally eclipse that. So
absolutely.
Coming in at number 36 is our highest rated Lord of the Rings film, and that is Fellowship of the Ring. So that
really over the Lord of the Rings yet, please.
Yeah, I had that much lower. I had that quite a bit lower because again, like I said, it's just a prelude to me.
Yep.
So
but it's such a good prelude.
It is so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is so good.
It just feels like right when something should happen, they roll credits. It's just it's a
Lord of the Rings might be the rare trilogy where all 3 films made our top 100.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I would suspect there's one other.
It's a shame.
There is one other.
Yeah.
I don't think there.
Or as they say, there is another. Okay.
There is another. And let's go.
That would be the Holy Trilogy, but we'll get to that.
Well, let's go to another trilogy here. And that is coming in at number 35. We have Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith.
That's a good ranking for that.
It is a good ranking for that. I just rewatched it. And I go back and forth with it. Do I like it? Do I not? But it's pretty pivotal. Thank God for Ewan McGregor. He saved that prequel trilogy.
I will say 3 of us had this on our list. So it came in. So our votes were very, very high for this. Revenge of the Sith is very high on my list. And I do agree with you. It's Ewan McGregor tying up the trilogy. I love this film. I think it's fantastic.
Again, we've talked about this in the show. If that trilogy had been from his perspective, it would have so worked better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised. I did not put any of the original trilogy.
I did not either.
Movies on my list.
I didn't either.
This one is probably the best of the 3 as a total movie. It's got a lot to it. I mean, I like why is my stupid screen doing this? I like Phantom Menace for a lot of reasons, but I mean, there's a lot to this. It really digs into the story.
Yeah, if they had started this trilogy later and not started with a 10-year-old boy, maybe it would have had a different resonance. But I'm a fan of all of it. So with the exception of that one movie we don't speak of,
thank you.
This isn't far off from where I had it on my list. I think I had it as number 28.
And I will.
I'd rather have seen someone better direct these movies, but I do think, and this is heavy Obi-Wan, and Ewan McGregor sort of just like I said, I gotta say that is the stuff that I like about this. The material.
And if you pick through the some of the other stuff, to me, the narrative just doesn't work, but the Obi-Wan stuff is great.
Yeah.
3PO with his head on a stormtrooper shooting a Jedi. That's come on.
Not a stormtrooper.
Is his head on? Oh, that's
battle droid.
Battle droid. Sorry, battle droid.
That's Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
Um,
you're mixing movies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I will
Critically
say,
irrelevant.
Order 66 hit me so hard. That was because I love the Jedi, and then just to see the classic turn on this, it just hit me so hard.
I think it's one of the reasons that I've embraced the Clone Wars so much and I like it so much is I feel like there was so much compression in the story that, that I guess that's what just,
Yes. There was a lot of compression. A lot of key characters were taken down in a second on screen or 2 seconds on screen.
And there's like light switch transformations in people.
Yeah.
But there are strengths to it. There's no question.
That's true. That's true.
I do think the whole transition from Anakin to Darth was not handled well.
No.
It's like I wish someone better could have directed these movies.
Yep.
So this was the finale of the prequel trilogy. The next film, coming in at number 34, is the finale of a different trilogy. And that is Episode 6, The Return of the Jedi. Interesting. Juxtaposition there. A little bit ahead of Revenge of the Sith. And I think we had this, more people had this on their list. So 4 people had it. So
I almost didn't have this on my list.
I did not. I was the one who did not. I just back.
I'm not surprised Todd didn't. I would have been surprised, Dave, if it didn't make yours.
Yeah, I rethought about it.
I felt there was like a kiddish turn to this. I've said this before. Kiddish turn to this movie that just didn't fit.
The Ewoks and stuff.
It's overly cute. I never liked the bumbling Han Solo stuff.
Yeah, but Luke coming into his own.
No, that's
is important.
There's pieces here that are just great. They're absolutely great, but it's
Once you learn to embrace the Ewoks, it is a really fun.
Just imagine they're Wookiees. Imagine they're Wookiees, and it's a great movie.
Okay, so you know what? Had they done Wookiees, it would have been terrific.
I don't have a problem with the Ewoks until they're singing at the end. I mean, the Ewoks in and of themselves are fine.
No, this was he wanted to make a movie for his kids.
Look,
Ewok is just a franchise.
Ewok is just an anagram of woke, guys. It was way ahead of its time. All right. Now we go to film number 33. Great film, The Princess Bride.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Sorry.
Name. It's Inigo
Rob
Montoya.
Reiner again.
Yeah, the Rob Reiner
movie.
Yeah, very strong. Now, how would you describe Princess Bride? Is it an action film?
I was just thinking, what category? I guess you put it in the fantasy category.
It's fantasy.
Fantasy.
It is
fantasy.
action comedy love story.
Fantasy.
So I in talking about the highest rated comedy, I hesitated to call this a comedy because I think there are tones.
There's a lot of
that.
humor in it, but I don't think it's a comedy.
The Wallace Shawn stuff is great. But
yeah.
I don't know. So
no, it's great. It's
phenomenal
just one of those
film. Who doesn't love
another
The Princess
classic,
Bride?
modern classic that holds up.
I don't know anybody who doesn't like that movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only people who don't like that movie haven't seen it. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Or they have no soul.
Yeah, or they have no soul. Thank you, Barry. You're right. Yes.
So the next up, we have the second film that we all 5 had on our list. The first one, of course, was Wonder Woman. Coming in at number 32 is The Matrix.
Yeah.
So we all agree this is a great film, although not as high as some others, but
way just ahead of it. Just so different from when it came out. It was just so ahead of its time.
A brilliant film that is diminished by everything that came.
I completely agree with you. If they did no follow-ups to this film would be even better.
This film would have been higher on my list if I didn't have the sour taste.
I don't even think of those trilogies except for the fact that
I would pay money to have them removed from my head.
The night he saw one of the.
I was gonna say I sat next to Gina Gershon. You have now taken it to a whole other level.
Remember?
It's an easy to forget that there were ever follow-ups.
They're not even in my head.
And they're making a 4th one. So
there are some movies that are deflection points in the way movies are made and written, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
Yep. Great
All
point.
movies are different after this movie came out.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
All right. The next film is beloved by three of our people, obviously very highly, and that's Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
Who didn't vote for Galaxy Quest?
It got bumped.
I have not seen it.
What?
What?
I have not
You
seen
need to.
Galaxy
That's
Quest.
shocking to me.
So I
I-
need to.
I still know people who say Galaxy Quest is the best Star Trek movie ever.
Yeah. Wait, I still
This
Now,
was
close.
you've
super
never
high
seen
on my
Galaxy
list.
Quest? I don't even I can't even understand that.
I don't know how so is this a comedy? I don't know what this is.
It's a comedy.
It's a
It's
comedy.
a
this is a
comedy, and it's
So
a
this
bit of a
is-
spoof on Star Trek, but not
Yes.
in a spoofy way.
So this is the
cast of
highest
Star
ranked
Trek gets
comedy.
kidnapped by aliens and expected to save the universe. So
This
Yeah,
is
that's funny. You're right. It's a spoof movie that doesn't make fun of Star Trek at all. It's a comedy. Doesn't
Yeah.
make fun of
this
Star Trek.
is
Yeah.
in the right spot. It totally belongs to be in the 30s. It's great, and you have to see it tomorrow.
Okay.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
I'll
I
see
will
it,
say, when I
guys.
was putting my list together, I kept moving it up higher and higher, and I was surprised. This ended up in my top 20.
Really? Yeah. I like I said, I went back and forth with it several times.
It's
and-
close to the top 20 for me.
I had this higher than Return of the Jedi.
Me too, for sure. Yeah, I mean,
So I'm sandbagging this movie, obviously, because I haven't seen it. So my
Yeah,
vote is
I gotta
really
say
down.
it to some degree mocks something I love far too much.
it doesn't.
for
It
me.
it
No,
honors
but
something
it
you
does.
love.
There's yeah.
No, I
But
disagree.
it does it
does
in
not
such a
mock
loving
Star
way.
Trek.
It does.
But-
No, I will agree that it does it in a loving way. But
Let me tell you, if
I don't have
if
I don't have a name. I can't go down to the planet without
Yeah.
a name because anyone who does will die.
Of every
Hey.
movie up to this point that we have seen that someone said I haven't seen it, this is the most shocking to me.
Yeah, I agree.
My
And I
wife-
haven't seen the Maltese
this
Falcon.
movie almost
I would put the
every day.
Maltese, not seeing the Maltese Falcon.
No,
Well, you
Look,
know what,
I
though?
have
This is in
one
our
job
genre.
on this ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it.
it's
Hey.
so good. Oh my god, it's so good.
Okay, I will watch it. I promise.
Okay.
Okay, coming in at number 30, shifting
All right,
gears.
wait. Before we go there, can I
Yes.
say that Daryl's not allowed back on the show until he's watched
Please
Galaxy
watch
Quest?
Absolutely.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah, without question.
All right.
Despite all the work
We
you've
may
done.
have to. We may have to
Yes.
suspend.
We
have
love
to
you. You're one of
suspend
my oldest
recording
friends,
until he
but-
watches it.
Well, when this came up on the list, I'm like, what is Galaxy Quest? Like,
Ooh.
the name is so
Ooh.
generic. I swear I've
It-
seen
it
it.
also-
but no,
no,
I
but
haven't seen
You
it.
gotta be kidding me.
It-
I
it
don't
also
even-
is
I don't
very
even
much
get
a-
that.
It's very much a cult thing. It really
Yeah.
is. So,
Yeah, yeah.
You're
I mean, I'm not.
I don't
I'm
want to
not as
oversell
big.
it. You're gonna love it.
I'm not as you four are much more big Trek fans, than
Yeah.
I am. So maybe that's
and
why
I think
missed
that's
it. I don't
what
know.
it is. That's yeah.
You know,
And
you guys-
honestly, if you have never even seen Star Trek, it's still good.
It's still good.
Yeah. If you guys ever want to sit down and do another a live talk back during it when a movie plays, this would be a good candidate.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's better than most of the films we've done that with. But yeah,
okay. Coming
maybe
in
we'll
at
do that with
number.
Daryl. Maybe we'll explain to Daryl why it's
No, I
funny.
want him to see it.
Why?
And
No, you
experience
gotta
it the
see
right
it.
way.
You don't want to hear us talking.
And
over
Daryl,
it
why
while you're
this is
watching it.
funny is because
That's right.
let me explain what a red
Explain
shirt
it
is.
to me. All right, I promise I will watch it. All right, because it's the only film from here on in I've seen all the 30 films. Yeah, I think so. All the films ahead of it. So coming in at number 30, we have Batman: The Dark Knight.
Yes. Yep.
So it seems appropriately weighted.
Yep.
Fantastic reintroduction of Batman.
Yeah, I had a conversation with my pretentious movie snob son the other night about Christopher Nolan, and I think I think this is the only Christopher Nolan movie I actually like.
Batman
Really?
Begins is good
Batman
too.
Begins is okay. Dark Knight is spectacular.
He should have got hit by a truck after this movie.
I'm gonna have to see it again.
I will say I think
don't even
I think this
remember
whole
this.
trilogy, one way or another, is on my list. So
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Next, coming in at number 29, Star Trek.
Oh wow!
Nice.
I'm
2009.
glad. I love
It-
this.
This is our highest ranking Trek film.
No.
Interesting.
No, I'm
it's
kidding. I'm
possible.
kidding.
It's
It's
true.
not.
It's most
It's
definitely
not.
I was gonna say.
It is not. There is.
This
is
is higher
halfway
than I
pretty
thought
high
it
up
would
there,
It's
be.
but-
wrong, sir. It is
But
wrong.
this-
I do love it.
This is very, very high. So
This is another movie that nobody thought could get made and be any good.
And
Nobody thought they could recast
this
and make
is
it
this is the Trek is not dead movie. And whether you like this or not, this proved that there were still legs on this franchise, and everything that's come beyond from this after this movie, whether it ties into the movie or not, exists because of this movie.
Yeah. And
Yep.
this is like hardcore Trek people are like, oh my God, this is the disgrace. You want to know something? Again, Star Trek is like pizza. It's all good.
Right.
And the fact that they could reboot it, and I do remember after this movie being on a train and there were 20-year-old girls was like, oh yeah, Star Trek, that Chris Pine character, he was great. I mean, like, you know, never having seen other Star Trek.
And that is the great thing with this film too, is by the soft reboot that they did, by doing the parallel timeline thing, they tied it into the original series brilliantly, but they also made it its own thing so it could exist for those two people, and you know, with again some allowances, and both audiences could like the thing. It's not unlike what he did with The Force Awakens, where he basically retold the same story but just pushed it out for a new audience. And I think both of those approaches were brilliant in their own way.
The success of this movie hinged 100% on Rachel Nichols pulling off the green girl, and she did it perfectly.
Galia.
I would argue that, but
That was it,
she
Barry?
did.
Yeah, that was
He
it.
did.
That was it.
This is
That was the
back
secret.
when he put women in underwear in everything he did, from Jennifer Garner to her to
And
Alice,
Alice Eve in the next movie.
Oh.
Yep.
All
So
right.
good.
Alice Eve
So-
in her underwear made
Hey,
the second Star
the
Trek
man
movie.
knows his demographic. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of his
So-
audience has never seen a woman in underwear. Therefore,
So we follow up. That was number 29. So we follow up number 28 with a movie very beloved by 3 people, and that's The Rocketeer.
Oh,
Yes.
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 Another perfect film.
it is. It truly
Every
is.
act ticks off great, and the characters are wonderfully drawn, and it's just good all the way around.
I love the comic that it's based on. This is better than that. It's they did a great job.
And I wish Joe Johnson directed more movies
Yeah.
I agree.
because he's so good at it.
I forgot this is a Joe Johnston movie.
Yeah.
I haven't
very
seen
good.
it in years.
So number
And-
27, also on 3 lists, Captain America: The First
Another Joe
Avenger.
Johnson
Another
movie.
Joe Johnston
Johnson,
movie, as a
yes.
matter of fact.
That is
Back to
interesting.
back.
I
So
should have been higher. I'm sorry.
He is brilliant at movies set in the past. There's just they just
So Barry, where is
So
that on
good.
my list?
First
Uh,
Avenger?
Yeah.
I think it's got to be in the top 10 on your list. No?
No. You're the one that's made me reevaluate this. No, it's 41, but it's a lot higher
Oh.
than I don't know if it would have made my list if you hadn't made me rewatch it.
Okay. Well,
So-
it is in the top 10. It was number 9 on my list. I absolutely love it.
So
Really?
number
Wow.
12.
I
it
have
is.
all on mine. Yeah.
I have come to appreciate this a lot more. I was the one that the big changes to the Captain America mythos in this just didn't work for me initially. I also felt the buildup really took a long time.
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen more of Cap fighting World War II.
But for
And-
people like me who hadn't had any real, I mean, I
that's-
knew of the character, but I never read the comics.
And that's where
It
I'm
was
saying, and
perfect.
that, but it took me a while to. Here's what I had to do. I had to go back, loving this interpretation of Cap from other films to truly appreciate what this for what it is. And yeah, and it made my.
I feel
top
like
50.
I put other Cap stuff so high that I did not even put this on my list. Not that I
Yeah,
don't
see,
like
no,
it, and it probably
I
deserves
put other
to be
Cap
higher.
stuff far ahead of it, but
Yeah.
this made, like I said, crept back up in the list because Barry really pushed me to go back and reevaluate it, and he was
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, this is my highest ranking Cap film by far.
Wow.
Ooh,
Wow.
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 All right. So
No,
we
I shouldn't say
follow
by
up.
far. I shouldn't say by far. The next one is only 5 movies down the list.
Yeah.
So we follow up. That was number 27. We follow up with number 26, and that is Apollo 13.
Ah,
Great
So-
movie.
Much
great
beloved movie. We
Great.
have 4 of us have it on the
Yeah,
top 100 list.
I think I left this one off my list.
No, that's
another movie that you could watch anytime, anywhere. All jump in, holds up.
brilliant.
Awesome.
Absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yep. Timeless. Yep.
Oh, we're hitting the top 25 now, guys.
All
We're really
right.
getting close.
Yeah. Now we're into the meat of it. So let's go. Number 25 is our highest rated Batman film, and that is Batman Begins.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So
You guys think
the-
this is better than Dark Knight? Wow.
just
I
because of the
do.
reimagining.
Wait, is that
Yep.
Dark Knight's a little, I don't know, muddy. I don't know.
Batman 89 is not on the list at all?
It was.
No,
It was,
was?
yeah.
Did I
We
miss
had
it? Oh, I
Batman
missed it.
'89.
Okay.
That was last week, Brian.
That was
Yeah,
last
okay.
week.
In a week, I didn't remember.
Last week's
No,
show.
this okay.
In a week, I don't
I
remember.
give this more credit because it reimagined Batman and brought him into a different era and did a really good job of establishing who he was. Nothing that happened afterwards could have happened without this.
Mm.
And the next film is probably better, but it's a sequel.
Yeah,
And-
this is
and-
my favorite Batman movie.
I love this. I absolutely love this. I think I rated The Dark Knight higher, but I absolutely love this film. So
No, this is in my top 25 for sure.
yeah, me too. 16.
Okay.
It's 16. Yeah.
We follow up so that's our top 25, guys. So we're in the meat of it now. Number 24 is Avengers Infinity War.
Mm.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
You guys must love this movie. 'cause
Had it on.
fell-
Yep.
It fell off my list.
Really?
Off the list.
No,
Wow.
it's great.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah.
It's
I
in my
only
top 50, but it's not. Wow, it's not that high on my list.
It was
It's
very
in
high
my
on the
top
list.
20.
It was. I'll tell you. I put it at 12.
I had it at 13.
Yep.
This it's almost like
Thank you, Dave.
one
We
movie.
carried this baby home.
You did.
Yeah.
You guys did carry it.
Yep.
All right. Number 23. This is a gem, much beloved by 3 of our voters. And this is the highest film with only 3 voters. That's Forbidden Planet.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's my fault. It's in my top 10.
Wow.
Your
Oh,
top.
it belongs up there. Yeah. This is a well-placed film. It's
Oh God, where
It
where
is
did I
one
put
of
it?
the-
Oh, 25. It's my actual number. It is actually
You're
25 for
25?
me. Yep.
yeah.
It is one of the 6 posters in my theater.
Oh,
And,
wow. Great.
Those are my top 10 movies.
And I recently watched this for the first time in probably 25, 30 years. And I deep dove into it. I watched all the bonus features on the Blu-ray. I watched everything, but yeah, it just didn't even make my top 100.
I think
It's
science
the
fiction
classic
films,
sci-fi movie.
science fiction films, you have to look at in the context of their times because they are extremely reflective of their times. There is no better film for the 1950s, no better sci-fi film from the 1950s.
and
Absolutely.
this movie bore Star Trek and bore Lost in Space.
Oh, absolutely.
So many-
There's
so
Star
many
Trek
percent.
could not exist
Like
without
that,
this
yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Lost in Space, every all that. Yep.
You know
I
what
guess-
it is? I saw all those things you just mentioned before I'd ever seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So I didn't
It's
have
like-
So
that.
did I. But
I
yeah.
agree. I'm the same way, Barry.
it's like watching Citizen Kane and saying, "What's the big deal? I've seen all these things 100 times before."
Yeah, that's true.
because everything everything
Yeah.
took things from that film. And
I guess
I had a greater appreciation for Citizen Kane, I think. I'm not saying I didn't like Forbidden Planet. I like it. It's just not as much as clearly as not as much as you guys.
This movie was
And
number 4 on my list.
Nice.
yeah.
okay.
Number
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, you
and
do
I-
have a life-size Robbie the Robot in your house, so
Yeah, I
89
do
on
love
my
the movie.
Like so it's interesting. So like Barry, I watched this film recently. Although Barry, you may have seen it 30 years ago. I had not. So I sought out a DVD, got it, watched it, and I understand why people like it. It felt smaller than I thought it was. Right, the movie, it was like a very small movie because it just basically took place in the one setting with a few characters. There really wasn't much. So it's a character study and it's a situational study. It's
Well,
neat.
it's a Shakespeare play set in a science fiction
Yeah.
format.
And
Yeah.
just what they did
It
in
is
the
The Tempest.
1957 is
The
just
Tempest, yeah.
way ahead of its time.
Great. So that's number 23. At number 22, we have another film on all 5 of our lists, and that is Die Hard.
Ah,
yes,
Yep.
yes,
The quintessential Christmas film.
Yes.
Classic.
quintessential action film.
Do you
Actually,
wrap
yeah.
your packages to this, Dave?
I do. That is one of the other ones. I think it's still sitting in my wrapping room
So,
over there.
It
Yeah,
bore
if you had to say,
copycats.
So-
it's an expression in Hollywood to say "die hard" on a plane, die
Yeah.
hard, in the
Die
ocean,
Hard.
die hard on a ship.
Because of, and that is just the thing too. When you
That's
think
right,
about it,
Brian.
this is in some way its own Citizen Kane, its own Forbidden Planet, because this thing launched an entire genre. Okay, basically every Steven Seagal film that came afterwards.
That's right.
But it was just like, okay, it's, you know, it's Die Hard on a bus, it's Die Hard on a plane, it's Die Hard on a ship, it's yeah.
Well, and this was the guy from Moonlighting that nobody thought
Right.
could really pull off action.
And an episode of at least every Star Trek series that followed. So
Yep.
And I mean, to me, if someone landed on this planet and they're like, "What's an action movie?" This is what you showed them. And
Yippee-ki-yay,
there was
motherfucker.
talk back, John McTiernan, when they were going to do these Die Hard as if taking from the 70s Towering Inferno, Poseidon Adventure, Earthquake. That was sort of the idea of this was the Towering Inferno as an action movie. Then they were going to do one on a boat, and then, you know, but I don't think it ever panned out that way.
But I got to say, Alan Rickman was great
Oh,
in this.
Oh,
You know,
phenomenal.
it is a perfect action film.
When I go to LA, I stay next to Nakatomi Plaza for a good reason.
Yeah.
All right. So film number 21, which is next, is from one of our favorite modern authors, maybe our most favorite modern author. And that
Martian.
is The Martian by Andy Weir.
That is amazing that it made it up this high. I had it up high on my list too, so I'm not surprised. I just think we're getting to the point where most of the movies are probably going to be the things we grew up with, and this is something that we didn't grow up
I
with.
agree. It is pretty amazing that it made it that high up. I went high with it. I will say I probably watched this like 5 or 6 times. I can like put this on, leave the room, come back, and be enthralled by whatever point I walk in on. So
this was much lower on my list, so you guys must have rated this very high.
I will tell you,
it's great.
It's not even on my list.
Really?
So I hamstrung The Martian, and I think unfairly. This is a great film, but again, it's really tough to crack into my top 100.
yeah,
And it's a great film. I don't know. It should have. Yeah, it could easily
Yeah.
be in there. You know,
I had it about where it landed. So
Yes, so
This,
did I.
you're right. For this thing to show up sort of despite genre and classics to sort of just jump into the top 25, it says a lot about this movie.
And I know I said it a couple weeks ago, but I recently watched the director's cut of this, which I know you guys say I love director's cuts. It's great. I mean,
I
it's
bought
just
that.
so
I
good.
haven't watched it yet, but on your recommendation, I bought it.
Yeah, so good.
but something you said, Barry, may surprise you. You said it's really tough to crack into kind of what you think is going to be the nostalgically fueled top 20.
That's what I would think.
I'm
I know mine
interested.
is.
I'm interesting to see that, because when I looked at this list, I was surprised with just an
Interesting.
observation.
Is
So,
this the newest movie on the list?
no?
No. Oh, all right.
No. Why don't we keep going? So that's number 21. So now we're in the top 20, guys.
That's interesting.
So top 20. Here we go.
This is the part of the telethon where we undo the bow ties.
that's right. Yeah, I
Yes.
just take the bow tie off.
Coming in at number 20 is Michael Crichton.
Okay.
Written movie Jurassic Park. Probably prior to Andy Weir, my other favorite author. So
I read all of his stuff before and there were any movies. Well, before there were these movies.
I wasn't this high up with it, but I could never imagine a list without this being on there.
exactly.
I had
This-
it low.
ahead.
Or
Go ahead, Dave.
Nothing. I had it low or I knocked it off, one or the other.
I had it as number 12. So
yeah, it's
really.
yeah.
It's very high on my list as well.
I had it
I-
somewhere. I,
I-
don't know where it was. In
I
the
can't
low,
think of a
but
Michael Crichton film that is better captured by the.
Andromeda Strain.
precise. Andromeda Strain is a very good movie,
Westworld.
It is, but
but Park
Oh, I'm kidding.
blew me away when I saw it on
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah,
It could not.
That
have
was
brought
It's
that.
a
think
combination
that's
of
the
the
thing.
story and the special effects and Steven
it was-
Spielberg and all of that.
it was timed perfectly with the technology, because right at the point when they could make
Yes.
believable CGI dinosaurs, they dropped this thing on the screen. 5 years earlier, it would have looked silly. 5 years later, when whatever.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
That's the thing.
they were working on puppets. They were building
Yeah.
puppets.
Oh,
for
I
the show.
know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
This
Unbelievable.
movie, I
Last
don't
second.
think I like it, and it's on my list, but I do think it's more of its time. When you saw it, it was like, oh my God. When you see it now, after everything we see, and you're like, okay, you know, it was definitely like other movies you could watch again and be like, oh my God, it's still great. This, to me, the shock of what they did back then was so much more tangible when you saw it the first time.
So
I think this movie holds up.
yeah, I think so too. So
It holds up. I watch it over and over.
Yeah, I've told you guys this story, or some of you guys this story before, but Evan was obsessed with this movie. Okay, and from seeing the commercials, I bought him every Jurassic Park toy, but he was way too young to see this movie. So I got the movie and I edited it. Okay, I took it to school and I went through and I cut out like 3 scenes that I didn't think he could watch at his age. And so I said, okay, this is like 97 at this point. He's like 6 years old. We sit down, he watches, rapt attention, just totally, looking at every single detail. We get all done. I said, Evan, what did you think? And he says, why did the lawyer never come back from the bathroom?
He is your son.
The fact that you just said that just makes me want to tell a real quick story. So I don't remember how old Joshua was, but we were at Universal Studios down in Florida. We were in the Jurassic Park area and it started to rain and we were in the Jurassic Park gift shop. Next thing we knew, and Joshua, who's 18 now, was maybe 10 years old, maybe younger. Next thing we know, we can't find Josh. We don't know where he is. And of course, I start to, look for him. My wife starts to panic and freak out. She gets the security guard. Next thing you know, the entire park is about to go into lockdown, where Joshua comes strolling back. It's now been like 15 minutes, by the way. And he's like, everybody's freaking out. Where have you been? Oh, I told you I was going to the bathroom. I'm like, no, you didn't tell anybody you were going to the bathroom. Freaking park was in lockdown.
Yep. Well, in Jurassic Park, going to the bathroom is scary. So,
that's what made me think of this story.
It's hazardous.
Totally.
Yes. Yeah.
We still have some about that to this day.
Why did the lawyer never come back from the bathroom? Yep.
So was this Johnson didn't direct this film?
To Spielberg.
No, it's Spielberg.
This is a Spielberg, Spielberg film. Johnson did Jurassic Park 3. Okay, that's number 20. Coming in at number 19 is Avengers Endgame.
There we go.
So
yeah,
very high on all 5 of our lists. Very, very high, very respectable film. Perfect
Definitely
ending
on all 5 of our lists. Much lower on mine, but awesome movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's so hard, and I think Brian said it too. I tend to gravitate towards the origin stories. I love the team up movies, but I tend to gravitate towards the origin stories.
This had everything in it though. Comedy,
drama. I put
pulling
Infinity
at your
War
heartstrings
ahead of Endgame, and I went back and forth.
Why?
You put what ahead of Endgame?
Infinity War ahead of Endgame.
Really?
Yep.
So did I.
I do. I feel like this. There's a lot.
You can't have one without the other.
Well, you can't have one without the other, but I'm saying there was just a lot crammed into this film. They did a really good job with it, but I think the other one just teased it up perfectly. I love put it this way, very little happened in this that I didn't see coming. Infinity War, I did not see, even going into that film, knowing that they couldn't win. There were constantly surprises in that film. And
Cap picking up Thor's hammer is probably one of the best moments in whether you saw it coming or not, in every Marvel movie.
And again, they're very close on my list, but I'm just saying,
getting him to finally say Avengers Assemble, for God's sakes, after 20 something movies.
This is the only non-origin Marvel movie on my list. This was so good, such a great movie.
It really had everything in it.
And you can watch this one over and over and over again without watching the first one. Yeah.
Both of them you can, for sure. Yeah.
So that's number 19. Number 18 is a classic beloved by you four. It's not on my top 100, but that's Logan's Run.
My guess is this is probably the worst movie in the
top 30.
It is your what do you call it? Guilty pleasure.
If you didn't grow up as a teenager watching this movie, you can't love it. But
that's true. Had I seen it at the time. I might have love it like you guys do.
This
So
this
good.
I
was
just say between this and American Werewolf in Paris, I have an appreciation for American
Such-
Werewolf in London.
That's
I
great.
appre-
Such
Jenny
great.
Augeter.
appreciate for Jenny Augeter that I will never quite get past.
How could you not?
this movie was my Star Wars before Star Wars. This
Yeah.
was I
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
my Star Wars.
Yeah.
too.
Homemade
And,
Star
this,
Wars.
and that I gotta say that is the other thing with this is I thought this was what great sci-fi was until Star Wars, and yeah,
There
did.
are parts of this that just, I mean, the effects in this are so horrible. It's not
Oh,
even
come
funny, but it's
on.
great.
I
Oh,
so
come
want
on.
this to be remade right, and that script that we read, that Brian that you gave us, isn't the right
No,
no, yeah.
thing. But I would like to
I
see
am
this
this
glad
done.
needs
we
to-
got.
I
I'm
can see
glad
this
we
being
got it.
remade.
Our
It needs to be
mutual love
remade.
for it. We brought Brian into this process just to get this into the top 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did. That's
We
the
did.
long, the
Like,
long
what num-
game.
Brian,
paid
what
off.
number
years
was
of
it
years
on
of
your list?
cultivating our friendship with him, just so that
Three.
when we hit our 8th
Number
anniversary,
3 on my list.
It was
Dude, we
three
could
on
get it
this
in there.
list.
3. You
Yeah.
gotta-
The dude
again,
has original costumes and props from the movie.
I
That's
know.
what I'm
insane.
saying.
Hey, I give him a lot of
That's right.
credit.
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like our Logan's
Awesome.
ringer.
So
Awesome.
so Brian, your props will really come in handy when the first run con happens.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they'll need to really
Yeah.
showcase
We
those.
almost
and
we almost went with West Run Con. I mean, it's like West
Now
Run,
that-
Logan's
Runner.
Run.
now that we're out of COVID, guys, you can start the planning for run con
There you go.
again.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be everyone on this call will be at the, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
I'll go because
We're
that
gonna
place
we're gonna
in
have it.
Fort,
We're gonna hold it in Dallas at the water park. Yeah.
Fort
that,
Worth.
that
Fort Worth,
water
yeah.
park is insane. I will say that is such a
That's
cool-
the only good
But
thing about Texas from where
We
I
need to
stay.
set up vendors on each one of the stairs going down that.
So I will say on Logan's Run. So it placed out of the top 100 on me, but it wasn't very far out, and
Yep.
and that's because you guys have really made me look at it. The story is really, it's pretty cool.
And there just wasn't enough Farrah Fawcett for you.
It just wasn't enough.
Never enough Farrah.
But I can go read Playboy for that.
Yep.
So, okay, that was number 18. It's funny. We talk about another Avengers movie sandwiching Logan's Run, and that's The Avengers.
Yep.
Comes in at
Yep.
number 17. So Endgame was kind of the capstone to Marvel building the universe, but The Avengers was also a culmination of their stated strategy way back when of building great origin stories and then bringing those characters together. And it was a
Yeah.
massive success.
This is the perfect superhero team film. It truly is.
It's the first
It's-
great superhero team up movie
It
too.
stands alone, okay, but
Yep.
it also builds on everything that came before. You can
Exactly.
walk into
Perfect.
this not having seen anything previous, get who everybody is. It's handed to you, and then they own it. And the the callbacks to this were brilliant. And in the capstone film, it's just absolutely awesome. And so many things they did right in here versus other superhero films. It's terrific. One word, shawarma. That's all I could say.
So I forget they're building an Avengers land at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yep.
Avengers Campus. Yeah,
Avengers campus. On the Avengers campus, there's a shawarma cart.
There should
Nice.
be.
there should
Yes.
be.
I actually had shawarma for the first time because of this film. Yeah.
Great. It opens cultural awareness. What can we say? All right. That was number 17, number 16 on all 5 of our lists. Back to the
Oh,
Future.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is this an appropriate rating? Number 15 on the greatest films of all time. I think it feels pretty
higher.
good to me.
I think it feels high.
I had it at
Personally.
14, so I'm pretty
I was
close.
gonna say
there.
somebody
Yeah.
went really, really high on that because it
I wonder.
I
who
had it
was.
much lower.
I had it at number 7.
Really?
28. I had it at 28.
I like
Yeah,
it, but
I think I was around there too.
Another
Around.
perfectly written script.
Perfect.
Not a lost line. So many
And-
callbacks.
and again,
nothing's wasted. It's
In
just
the
perfect.
context of its era, absolutely terrific. So,
and another one that you do not need those sequels. Not as bad as Matrix, but you really don't need them.
no, you don't.
I
totally
disagree.
agree.
But
I
I'm
love the
guessing.
sequels too.
I'm guessing the sequels may have been in Barry's list, but
One of them was, yeah. I've
I-
said it before. I mean, you can't have Back to the Future 2 without Back to the Future, but I adore Back to the Future 2. So
You've
Really,
got,
I just very hokey.
You
I
can't
felt
it
Yeah,
also
very
seems so
hokey.
derivative of the first.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah. No,
well, elements of it are because he's revisiting that moment.
Right.
So that's, there are threads of that running through, but all of the stuff that takes place in the future, which is actually now our past, which is ironic, but yeah, I love that stuff.
Yep.
Great.
and you can't watch the first one and not just go watch the second and third one immediately.
I can.
afterwards.
I won't watch the next two.
Really?
I don't watch the follow-ups at all, but I do watch Back to the Future maybe
Yeah.
every 2 or 3
And I'm
years.
just not a Westerns fan, so the third one kind of fell flat for me, but
right.
Yeah.
I love the first two.
All right. That's number 16. Coming in at number 15. Horror movie Alien.
Ah,
How does this
Not-
feel,
yeah.
guys? Good, appropriate place.
what is this?
15?
15.
Yeah,
Number
I
15.
had it at 17, so that's
I
yeah.
had it.
I had it
higher.
at 17 also.
I had it at 11.
Oh, I'm surprised, Dave. I
had it at 28, actually.
So
really, I'm surprised about that more than about me.
I have the sequel higher. Yeah.
well, everybody does.
Yeah, yeah, I do too.
But,
It's, I mean, it's while it's groundbreaking and there's so many good things about it. It's a tough movie to watch. I mean, it's not
It
like
is,
fun at
but
all.
it's not fun, but it's brilliant. It's
It's
just,
not fun.
It is brilliant.
And everything that we've gotten sense this good or bad exists because of this film. The amazing thing to me with this film, yes, I said this before, is the juxtaposition between this and the sequel. They're completely different genre films, and they're both. You can love both for completely different reasons.
Absolutely. But
I
you know,
feel the
we
same
always
way
talk
about Terminator as I do Alien. Like, you can't have the amazing sequels without the original movies. But I
But
like
Terminator
Alien
and Terminator
more
2
than I
are
like
the same
Terminator.
genre.
No,
One
that's
just does
fair.
it. One does it better than the other.
The look of this movie is way better than the movie itself. The look is off the charts. The Sid Mead stuff is just
Yeah.
nothing looked like this.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
before this.
I mean, not that it's high. It's in my almost my top 10, but watchability of, like, if it's on, it's like, oh, just while I'm eating dinner, I'll just pop in the chest
I would
burster
also say
scene. Like, no,
this
it won't.
you're not going to do that. But it also changed. It completely changed how we look at science fiction in space. And
yes.
it made it messy and dirty and made it
In a world of Galaxina and
these
and
were,
Battle
exactly,
Beyond the Stars and
these
all
were
that
not
crap.
glamorous astronauts.
Nope.
And Ridley Scott said these were truck drivers in space.
Yeah.
Working
You
stiffs.
know?
Yeah.
What's
No.
amazing is that the Alien franchise is one of my favorite franchises, and I only like 2 movies in the franchise.
Exactly.
Well, that's an interesting point, Barry. We might get back to that shortly. Alien, number 15. Coming in at number 14 is Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
That's
So,
because of me.
That's high. That's good. It's my number
That's-
14.
Yeah,
It's
it's my number 7.
It
It's
must
my
have been
number
high. I
4.
know it's not on my list at all.
it's
so you
not
guys-
on your list, Brian.
No.
But so 4 of us
Yeah.
had it very, very high.
It
I
is
I
to me
love
one
this
of
film.
the perfect movies.
Yeah.
It is. I
This is-
agree, Dave.
This is
I love
the template for success for Marvel. You take the characters that are established and you drop them into a genre that has not been done before. And they did a great job with it. They made a conspiracy thriller with Captain America at the center of it. It was brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
It is my favorite Marvel movie.
It's not my favorite Marvel movie. It's the best Marvel movie.
There are
So-
3
Ooh,
there are
interesting.
3 Marvel movies in my top 20. 2 of them are Captain America movies.
Yep. They've been strong. All right. Following Cap at 14 comes number 13. And that is, this might surprise some people. It's Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Nice.
It doesn't surprise me at
I
all.
like to see that. That is my number 13 film.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Rogue One.
I think ordinarily it's very close on mine. So Barry, you made a comment earlier that as we were going into the top 20, you weren't expecting many modern films, but yet we've had a bunch. The
Yeah,
Avengers
no, that's
film,
fair.
Cap, Rogue One, and there's still a couple to come. So
Yeah,
Yep.
but both of them, they both tie into the nostalgia.
yeah,
I mean, I guess maybe not fair to say about Marvel, but there's nostalgia because of the comics we all read as kids. But
yep. But
and
it,
Rogue
it
One
was
just tapped into that 70s Star Wars era so perfectly.
well. I love it because it does show you can tell great stories in this universe, right?
And
you
it
can,
just doesn't have to be about one family. You know,
right?
it
right.
really could be. It's and this, like I said, to me, succeeded the way every other film in one way or another failed. Everything else felt forced in some way, some much more than others. And this just exists for what it is, and it's great. And as I've said many times, you can't have 10 films that involve a suicide mission with no one ever dying.
Right.
And it's yeah.
Before
It's
you move
probably
on,
the best Star Wars movie to come out of the Disney era.
It is.
That is
It is.
absolutely.
before you move on, I'm just looking at my list. Without saying anything, are there movies that are very high up on your list that you feel may not be in this list, and it's a little surprising to you? I've got 1, 2, definitely 3.
I've got 2.
No, I'm actually kind of expecting to see everything. There's one I'm surprised we have not seen yet, but everything that's in my top 15, I expect to
Wow.
see.
I
Really, so, or I have seen.
I'm not even saying top 15. There are a couple, some high, some. Write them down if you think there are.
Oh,
some.
we have the list. I'm telling you, I'm saying everything that's in my top. Well, okay. Everything in my top 20 has either been seen or I expect to see. I will be stunned if it's not here.
I got
I might
3
even
that
take
I'm
that
a
to
little
25.
surprised they're not, haven't been.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to be in the top 10, but I thought they would have
Okay.
been in the top
There's
25.
one
So-
outlier that might not make it, but everything in my top 25 should show up.
So
I'm
Dave,
good to 23. I'm sure I'm good to 23.
so Dave, we're at the point where we already know if something was only on your list and it was 21 or higher,
Yeah.
we've already seen it.
But I don't think that's why I would be surprised if these movies weren't on other
Yeah,
people's
I am
lists.
too. I got
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple. I got 2 that should have shown up by now.
Well, let's see. Let's see
I
what they are.
expect the top 10 is going to be very
I think we
similar.
know a lot of what's in the top.
No, but that's
10.
what I'm saying. I think there should be movies that should be falling in between like 10
Right. That's what I'm saying.
and 20,
I got
and I
film-
haven't seen them.
I
and
have
I'll
2
be,
films that I think should have been 20 to 15 at least. I'd be
Okay.
very, yeah. Yeah.
we'll
Let's see if
write
we-
them down.
let's
We'll
see if
talk
we
about
see
it
'em.
later.
Yeah, put them down and we'll see if they come up because it may have been more than beloved by just a couple
Yeah.
of us, all of us.
And call it out if one does pop up.
I
Yeah.
will tell you from here on out, there are 2 films that are only on that are not on all of our lists that are propelled by 4
Yeah,
people,
Wow.
makes
not
They're
5.
really, okay. That's
So
interesting.
all the rest of the films are on all 5 of our lists. So, okay, coming in at, so that's Rogue One, A Star Wars Story is number 13. Coming in at number 12 is Indiana Jones. and the
Okay.
Last
That's
Crusade.
in my, 11.
Okay.
Yep.
On 5 of our lists. So 11
Yeah,
comes in at
mine's
12
lower,
here.
but still up there somewhere.
Yeah, mine's in the top 20.
Yep.
Hold on. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
Not much to
You're
say.
Not much to
Great
say.
movie.
Coming in
Really.
at, then we move on to number 11. We hinted at this a little bit earlier, and that is our highest rated Trek film. And that's
Of
Star
course.
Trek II,
Yeah,
The
there it
Wrath
is.
of Khan.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Now, this is not on my list, fellas. And
Wow. So we drove
Wow.
that baby.
yeah, you guys drove it. It's just outside my top 100. Actually, I was torn on this. I do like this film.
This is
but
the best Star Trek movie.
it is by far the best, I think. Star
It was
And I
7
went,
on my
I
list.
went high on this. What did
Yeah.
you do, Dave?
I had 7.
I had 5.
Really?
Yeah.
I had it at 6.
Holy
Okay.
cow. I'm the Star
Wow.
Trek fan here and I had it at 15. Wow.
Yeah.
But still that shows, that's the math. That's
Wow.
what that shows. We
This
drove.
is, this is the best Star Trek
Yep.
movie.
I
It is the best
unfairly
Star Trek movie.
Sandbagged. I'm sorry. It's
And so this is the thing now. We were saying before about like something can be diminished by sequels. Here's a case where this sequel so elevated what it was that
Yep.
it obliterated what came before. It's yeah, because I didn't see the motionless picture showing up anywhere down below here.
No.
I got to
So-
rate this higher. Okay, that's my bad. I'll go. I'll go back.
Yeah.
It
is
deserves
what
a
it
higher.
is.
Well,
It
even
deserves
with
a
you
higher
not
rating.
including it, it made the top 15.
It's
so
fine. It's in a good
Yeah.
spot.
It's where it should be.
Number
That's
you
where
go.
it should be.
It's not bad.
Okay,
Number 11 is
okay.
not a bad spot.
All right.
I am surprised to see you guys be as tight with where I was. I thought I was going really high on it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the meat of it, guys. The top 10. You ready?
Wait, drum roll.
I'm a little concerned that there are some biggies that are
There's
not showing up.
two missing here for me.
Okay. Let's see if we get them. Coming in at number 10. We've already talked about this franchise. It is Terminator 2.
Too. Yeah.
Wow, that's high.
Heavy
That seems
hitter.
high to me.
No, not high at all.
No.
14. It was 14 for me.
Number 8 in my top 10.
Number
Eight.
5 in my top 10.
I walked out of this movie saying this is the best movie ever made. That's how much of an impression it
Oh,
made.
I
on me
had
the
it
first time I saw it.
Much
This-
lower. I
this
love it,
also
but I
is-
had it much
is it-
lower.
Is your classic case of the sequel so eclipsing the original that
And
Yeah.
this showed what James Cameron could do with this idea
truly
with
did.
the right amount of
Yeah.
money.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Fantastic.
Dark Fate isn't the next one, I'm
Dave
shocked.
and I are just
Say
gonna
Dark
walk.
Fate one more time, Pisani.
We're gonna walk. So
All
and I'm
right.
out of here.
The next one is another modern film, and I wonder what the reaction is to number 9 being Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wow, that's
Wow.
high. It's
It's
great,
amazingly
but
high.
13 for me.
15
Wow.
for me.
I had it number
19 for me.
35.
Wait. Who had it? How did it get this high then?
I have no idea.
So it can also get this high because they're
Because
not.
we all had it.
No,
No, don't go.
Oh,
Don't
oh,
go.
yeah, 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 no.
We're too late into the. We're too far down the
Okay.
list now.
Okay, close your eyes.
I
Close
also want
your-
to look again.
Close your
You
eyes,
gotta warn
please.
us of that.
Close your eyes.
It's fun. We
please.
don't need to. You don't need to prove your math. This isn't.
No.
This is an eighth
Okay.
grade algebra.
All right. Anyway, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, but you know what? The two that I was worried about, I saw, so I'm okay.
No,
now.
I only saw one of
no. Damn, I spoiled it. Sorry.
I didn't look.
Wait.
But-
So I had Guardians at 15. Barry, what did you have?
35.
13.
Anyone else?
19.
I've got it. I was going to go check my placement, but
Don't
I can't,
worry,
I
don't
can't see
stop
my
Oh, but that's
blaming
it.
placement.
That's 5. It's
Okay, that's
5.
fine.
That's what
fine.
it is.
Yeah. And so, and what happens is when we all have movies that are like this, that we love, that, you know, that all come in kind of consistently like that, it'll propel it above even what our rankings are on our list. If all 5 of us are kind of,
It doesn't belong above Winter Soldier, but anyway.
It doesn't belong in the top 10 greatest movies of all time.
No. But that's so funny. It's all right. Who thinks it's better than
But
of
it's not.
anyone? Who
the-
thinks it's better
the-
than Winter Soldier?
It's the
Oh, I-
mutuality of our
You
all
do?
agreeing
You're
on it. That's
crazy.
why it's
Oh, yeah.
not. Yeah. No,
That's you're the one who ruined it for everybody.
I put it at
Brian.
13.
That's right.
I'm talking about Brian, not you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So who had this above Winter Soldier? Brian did. Any
Oh, yeah, I did.
anybody else?
Oh yeah.
Brian didn't even have Winter Soldier at all. So
No, not at all.
That's
And that's
see,
what-
that's
that's
the
what did
math.
it.
That's what's
That-
interesting.
that's actually
Winter
what-
Soldier was
what
7
that's
for
what we're
me,
looking at.
and this
Let's
was 13.
recalculate this without Brian because he's ruining it.
No,
Yeah.
no.
who
All right,
invited that guy?
Next week's show, we're recalculating
Do this again.
400.
So Brian is perfectly entitled to it. Guardians. How much respect, can we have for that film that came out of nowhere with a D-rated
will-
team of heroes? It's
And-
amazing.
Doesn't
that is-
belong.
that is
It's,
the
it,
thing.
you know where it belongs, like 12 or 15.
They
not
took
10.
no, but they took, but it's but the other thing is the universality of it is everyone loves this film, and that brings it up higher
That's
than a film that 4 people love.
That's
the-
exactly why it's here, Todd.
And I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I do too.
I read the comics. It's very different than the comics. I love this as a separate thing. It's that good. So
And
All
it's
right.
another movie you can watch over and over and over. And
Absolutely.
Oh my
For
God,
sure,
absolutely.
for sure.
So it's such a great movie.
I am Groot.
Going to number 8, which I mistakenly spoiled. I hope not everybody saw it, but number 8 is Blade Runner.
Ah, I
Hold
was
on,
worried
hold
about
on, hang
that.
on, hang on,
And I feel like me and Brian put it there.
Yeah, I had it. at
Barry
number-
didn't
I had
have it
number
in his
7.
top 100.
Yeah, Barry
I did not have it in my top 100. You're correct.
So this
Why
tells
is-
you
why is Todd chugging scotch?
Blade Runner glass.
Blade Runner glass.
It was a Blade
Listen,
Runner
I got
glass.
mine too, but I'm not chugging scotch out of it.
Oh my God,
So-
you're gonna be in trouble tomorrow.
this is the highest rated film with 4 votes, and even though Barry didn't have it in, the other 4
Wow,
treat this
Yeah.
as such a beloved film. This might be my number 3 film. I think it might
really?
be my
Okay.
number 3
I had
film.
it at 6.
Yeah, right up there at the top. I think.
Todd, would you have it?
I just turned off Barry's camera.
Well,
Okay. I had it at 6.
Oh,
Yeah, I had it-
so
I had it
you-
at
I had
7.
it at 6. You had it at 6.
So we
Brian,
have
Would you have it at
I had it 7.
7? Okay.
so we have 4 7 or above scores. That's
Interesting.
what lands this film here. So
Okay.
if
Good.
Barry were replaced by another regular Joe at some point who loved it, might
yeah. When you do
I'm
this
gonna
again,
we're gonna replace him with the guy who played the dude with the weird skin condition, William Sanderson or whatever his name is.
Yes. Yep.
All right. From here on out, these are all unanimous films on all 5 of our
Oh,
lists. So
interesting.
going from number 8 to number 7, we have Ghostbusters.
Oh my
Yep.
God, that was the one I was worried about.
Me
Yep.
too. And
yeah,
the
but
next
you,
one.
you had to know it was going to make the top 100.
No,
I was a
I'm-
little
well,
surprised.
the top 100, but
Not
I actually
top
thought this
10.
was about 12 or 13. So
It feels like it should be 12 or 13.
It's my
Like,
number 15.
It's
for me,
lower.
It was
It's my
lower
number
for me.
Me too.
18.
Yeah.
I was
19.
thinking this was
I had
a-
it at 19.
This
Wait,
this
okay.
this is where if all 5 of us don't vote for it, it falls down the list far.
Right.
Yeah.
But we did.
Wait,
Goes its
so
head.
we all voted. What was everyone's number on this?
19.
Ghostbusters, where is it?
Mine was, what did I say, 18?
You had 18. I had 19.
35.
35.
I'm
Barry?
surprised that Dave, I had this rated higher than Dave did.
Would you have it at?
15.
And Daryl?
I can't see my screen right now, but
No, don't-
I
don't-
want
don't do
to
anything.
say it probably in the 20s, maybe
That's interesting.
30. I don't know, something like that.
I don't see it as a top 10. I see it as like a 10 to 20.
I
But
agree.
it is the
I-
power of
again-
everyone voting for it.
I
Yep.
gave it 19.
Okay, that was the one I thought was not going to make the list, and I was going to be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yep. No, it made the list very
It
high.
totally made the
Very
list.
high.
And then
yeah.
let's move on to the next one because
All right, number 6 comes in at, let me take
Number
a look
6.
on all 5 of our lists.
Well,
Planet
Ghostbusters
of
is 6.
the
Number 5.
Planet
Planet
Planet of the Apes.
That was the other one that I
this
was
is number
worried about.
this is number 6 actually, right? Planet of the Apes.
Same here. It was Ghostbusters and Planet of the Apes that did not make sense to me. That did not show up in the 20s.
Yes.
So-
exactly.
Yeah.
That,
Oh,
so
I'm looking at the top of your chart there, Daryl, where it says.
Yeah,
10.
I've got it wrong. I
No, it's
put
all
from
good.
10 to 5. So
so
Yeah,
I
this
had
had to be in the top 10.
Planet of the Apes
Yeah.
at number 8.
I had it as number 10.
Everything I've had from 32 has shown up so far,
Wow.
but I'm going to have a crushing disappointment soon.
Oh,
That's
So-
the thing. I really was thinking these would be, like Todd said, in the 20s, not in the top 10.
Yeah.
Todd,
I
if
have
there
a
was
feeling
something,
one of my top 3 is going to get shut out. So we'll see.
that's
where-
impossible, Todd.
Brian,
Okay.
where did you have Planet of the Apes?
Planet of the Apes
Oh, I gotta
was
look
lower.
here.
It was around 24.
yeah.
Hopefully, I didn't screw up some.
Me
math
and
here.
me and Barry pushed this.
Yeah,
up
I mean,
until-
I
had
had,
Planet of the
I had it
Apes
at 36.
wow.
But again, if we all had it, that's what it was.
Do
We
you
all had
remember
it.
Nova? Did you see Nova?
Good. Exactly.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Going to film
Wow.
number 5.
Wait. Before you go, this is where Jerry Lewis usually sings "You'll Never Walk Alone." So should I?
Should
I start singing
to do that?
Wait a minute. Is that before or after Send in the Clowns?
I think it's. I think the You Never Walk Alone is the end of the telephone.
Send in
So
the
this is
clowns to
probably
the
more
concentration
send in
camp.
the clowns type.
Okay, right. All right. I'll save You Never Walk Alone till the end. Okay, got it. All right, please proceed, Derryl.
Wow.
Okay, moving to number 5
This is exciting.
is Aliens.
Ah.
Oh, yep, yep.
All right.
Definitely should
Shocking
be in the
to
top
no
5.
one.
No,
Yes.
I had this at number 4, so it's right.
I
right
had
in
it
the
at
right
number
spot.
3.
Shocking to
9.
no one.
Wow. Number
Classic film, totally amazing.
Yes.
Ready to go on to number 4?
And the proof positive that sequels can be as good or better than
Oh,
Yeah.
originals.
Completely
again,
different.
It's good or better, but in this case, I think this is really the only case where the sequel is really a different genre.
Completely different movie.
Yeah, totally a different genre.
This is an action
first.
film in a sci-fi setting, whereas the other was a horror film in a sci-fi setting.
Absolutely.
Pretty amazing. Pivot in that universe.
Really,
All right.
This is going to
only
be really
Marvel has
interesting
done
now.
exactly that.
So number 4, Marvel, Iron Man.
Ah.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Okay. Yeah.
Todd was
Yeah,
shocked by
that's-
that.
I am shocked. I thought that was going to get shut out. I'm
Did you?
No,
stunned.
it's high on my list.
It is
Did you
so
have it as
high.
number 1?
It is so high on my list, Todd, along with you.
It is mine.
It's
It's
in-
my
it's-
number 2.
It's my number
That's
8.
why. That's
so-
why it's so high.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good spot for Iron Man.
I had it
Great
lower, but still great. But I had it lower.
Todd's got his Iron Man helmet on. He's full in Iron Man mode. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great movie, and yeah, it was my number 8, so it was in my top 10 as well.
Yep. So much beloved. That's what propelled it. Number
a second.
3.
No, number 3.
This is where I start to get nervous.
This would I could. I think we're going to be surprised by what's
All
won,
3
but
of
it
them
makes
are
sense.
great movies, I know, but the order of these is
Do
going
we
to
all
break
know
my
what
heart.
the last 3 are at this point?
Barry's nervous.
we know it.
No, I don't know what the last 3 are.
We
You
know what
don't?
the
I do.
last 3 are right now.
I know what they are. I just don't know what order they're
Well,
in.
he had
don't know
Logan's
what
Run at
order
number
they're in.
3 or whatever you had.
Yeah, I don't know what they are.
Ready?
Oh,
Number
I know. If you
3.
think about it, you know what they are.
Number 3. Empire Strikes
Ooh.
Back.
Fire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Okay,
I can
I'm
take that. I
surprised.
can accept that.
I had that as
Now,
number 1.
That was number
pe-
2 for me.
Some people have this as number 1.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure.
it's-
The next order will be interesting. I feel like it will
The
not
next
be.
I,
order
kn-
is gonna be
I
very,
can
very
predict the
interesting.
next 2. Yeah.
I
Okay.
Well, obviously.
I'm
No, I
this
mean the
is
order.
really
I know.
going to
What,
be interesting now.
I know what order they have to be in, and if
I
I'm
thought
wrong,
we all had number 1 the same movie.
I know
If I'm
why,
wrong, I walk
and I
off.
know
Okay,
why
so-
the next
Okay,
movie is the
actually,
next movie.
Do you
'cause
want to
of
just
me.
stop for a second? Not
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
but everyone else tell the order of the next 2 films. And let's go Barry alphabetically. You go Barry, Brian, Dave, and then me.
number 2 is going to be Raiders, and number 1's got to be Star Wars.
Okay. Brian.
Yeah, I got to say the same thing. Same thing. Number 2 is Raiders. Number 1 is Star Wars.
I think it's going to be Star Wars and Raiders.
Meaning Star Wars first, Raiders second.
It'll be Star Wars number 2, Raiders
No.
number 1.
I'm with Dave. Star
That's
Wars
where
number
I walk
2,
off the
Raiders
show.
number 1.
If Star Wars isn't the number 1 movie, I walk off the show.
Walk off the show. It's a good time. It's over anyway.
Walk off.
Split down the
with
middle.
hope in your heart.
Split down the
and you'll
middle.
never walk away.
I will remind
Raiders
the audience.
is a more perfect movie than Star Wars is. I'm sorry to tell you.
Blasphemy. Sorry,
It's the number 2 movie. What do you expect?
but
The
it's not more
audience-
perfect than Star Wars.
It is
the
nice.
audience has
It's
been
more
with
perfectly. Yeah. Did you read my text commentary of all the things that are wrong?
All right. So
Did you see the Big Bang Theory where they
at-
talk about how nothing happened in Indiana Jones?
that's
I
right.
know. They
Yes.
both. Yeah. He caused nothing to actually be accomplished.
Yes,
It does
and
not
Luke
matter.
Skywalker did blow up the Death Star, so a
on,
little
baby.
more happened.
Come
in
on,
Star
baby,
Wars.
do it.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
So the audience has been with us to this point. Hands on,
Wait.
fingernails gripping their desk.
Oh wait,
their
are we all
chair.
getting helmets? Hang on.
And we are locking down, guys. This is history we're making here. We are revealing the 100 greatest films of all time.
I don't know which I'm wearing.
You ready
Yeah.
for number
Number
2?
two.
Let's do it. Raiders of the
Yeah.
Lost Ark.
Oh, I was wrong.
I just realized I can't listen with my headphones on and have this helmet on at the same time, so this isn't going to work.
So it's funny. This is my number 1 film of all time. Star Wars is number 2,
Okay.
but the voting propelled Star Wars ahead.
Oh, thank God! I don't have to
what
walk
can you
off.
say? So we know number one. It's Star
Yeah,
Wars.
Star
So
Wars.
that's
That's
our
interesting,
number one.
Barry.
and two.
You're not going to want to know this. I had
Dun,
Star
dun,
Wars
dun,
at number
dun,
5.
dun,
Really?
dun, dun, dun,
I have
dun,
Empire as
dun.
number 1.
I'm not sure we can be
Yes.
friends anymore.
All
And
right.
that's
It's not that well made. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
That's what
let's
did
go.
it, Dave.
Let's go. Top 5 guys. Same order. This time you can jump in, Derryl. Barry, your top 5.
Star Wars, Empire, Raiders, Aliens, Terminator 2.
We're gonna have some differences here.
Oh yeah.
Brian.
All right. Star Wars, Casablanca, Logan's Run, Forbidden Planet, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Wow. Whoa.
Wait, Barry, Brian's off the show.
Yeah, yeah. Dave, I'm
No,
friends with you again. Brian, not so much.
Brian is what you call diversity. Okay. Derryl, you're up. Or no, Dave, you're up.
Okay, Empire, Raiders, Aliens, Winter Soldier, Star Wars.
Oh,
Winter
man,
Soldier is
Star Wars
above
number
Star Wars?
5.
Star Wars
Come
is
on.
what I've looked at them independently.
Derryl.
Empire is a far superior movie.
Mine, I think, is the top 4 are locked. It's Raiders, Star Wars.
Whoa. Don't give you the top 4 are locked. You submitted a list like the rest of us.
No. I can't look at my screen right now, so I'm looking at
okay.
my old iPhone note that's deleted from a long time ago. So Raiders of the Lost Ark is number 1. Star Wars, Blade Runner 2049, and then I think I changed my 5th because I had Magnificent 7.
2049 is your 4th favorite film of all time?
I love it. It's like what Todd said earlier. It's like a
Really?
perfect, harmonious
That's
wrap
shocking to me.
up of a film that I never even thought needed a sequel.
Yep.
But it told me it did.
It is both respectful and it builds on what's there. It's it's great.
Wait, say your list again.
Raiders, Star Wars, Blade Runner 2049. And I'm going to go out of
Empire's not in your top 5?
Hold on. Let me go to the master spreadsheet and get my 5. No,
Star Wars wins.
I've got
because of
Magnificent
nostalgia.
I've got
but
Magnificent.
It is not a better movie than Empire.
It is a better movie, and I will tell you, Empire is not a complete movie. It's half of a movie.
It is a half of a movie. It is not. It's a great sequel.
Yes.
Okay. But it does not stand on its own by any stretch of the imagination. And
it has the best twist probably of all time.
Yes. Yeah.
But you watch it more often than Star Wars? I mean, the Brian rule. I watch Star Wars all the time. Empire.
I watch Empire more than Star Wars.
I watch Star Wars much more often.
Yeah.
By the way, today is the 41st anniversary of the release of Empire, for what it's worth.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm still keeping it as my number 13th ranked film.
Yeah.
2040. I got to say, as much as Barry, you could be shocked about where I put Star Wars. Where Darryl put Blade Runner 2049 is the most shocking thing in this whole list.
Okay.
Probably the most shocking thing on the whole.
Anyways, it's my turn. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My turn. Raiders was number 1.
Ooh.
Iron Man was number 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Empire, Wrath of Khan.
That's 6.
No, that's 5.
That's
wow,
5.
that's good.
And I could, and you really want to, Blade Runner was 6. So I could watch any of those 5 films at any time. I will never love Empire as much as I love Star Wars. I try hard. I just can't.
Star Wars is
and I
harder
love
to
Empire,
watch than Empire
but I
for
can't.
me.
I
Just the way
can't.
it is.
put it
Not
above
that it's
Star
not.
Wars.
It's in my top. It's up there.
But you know what? To me, it's not just about the movie itself. It's the nostalgia. I was
Right.
9 years old when I saw Star Wars. I mean, it was everything. It was my life for a very long time as a kid.
It was mine too.
And I make this weird distinction that nobody gets, but Star Wars is a film and Empire is a movie.
Oh my God, that's such film school bullshit.
It's not. Star Wars stands on its own. Star Wars is its own thing.
Star Wars is the ultimate movie. None of these are films.
And Empire is an entertainment experience, but it does not stand on its own.
Todd just became Martin Scorsese.
That's right.
No, he became Rex Reed.
No, Martin
Theme park-
Scorsese would
theme
say
park
this is all
movies.
shit.
All right.
Remember when
So,
Martin Scorsese said these were theme park movies?
all right, guys. So, what's the highest number movie on your list that wasn't on this list?
That's a good question.
Ooh.
I found mine, and I blame Dave.
Number 23 for me.
Hold on.
24.
Yeah, let's all get there.
Just didn't make the
Boy.
cut, huh?
Mine, I'm keep going.
I've got one more little analysis after this to go through.
Number
let's-
30.
Let's not forget.
A
Number
Few
30.
Good Men.
So,
Oh, A Few Good Men. What was yours, Barry?
Mine was Armageddon.
Oh my
Oh, that's a
God.
guilty pleasure, man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
all right. So,
But I do
number
love
was
that
that?
movie.
Yeah,
My
let's,
number-
let's
Wow.
all, in Barry's honor, let's all slow walk.
Wow.
Barry, what number was that?
23.
Wow. That's high. I'm not saying I don't like it, but that's high.
That
You
number
know what
is
I thought?
high, and
Well, I'm
so are
shocked
you.
it wasn't
Okay.
on.
But when and I did my entire list from the same perspective, it's one of those movies that if I'm flipping the channels and I hit it, I stay on it and I watch some or all of the rest of it.
I'm sad when Bruce Willis dies.
Guys, yeah.
Spoilers. I'm surprised The Great Escape wasn't on this list.
Oh.
That was in
No.
my
I forgot it.
136.
Yeah.
That was
where's the
32
Great
for me.
Escape?
Mine is number 24, and I blame Dave for not having this on the list, and that's Rollerball. How do you leave
Rollerball is
Rollerball
not
off?
that great a movie. It's fun, and the idea of Rollerball is better than the actual movie.
Yeah,
of
you're right.
Rollerball.
The look, it's one of those movies where the look of the film is better than the plot of the film.
Yeah.
Look is so great.
My first one is number 33 that didn't make it. And I love this film more than anybody else, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shocked my number 21 movie made the list, which was Better Off Dead. I thought for sure that was never going to make this.
All
Yeah,
of
that's
our
your favorite?
number 21s
Yeah.
made the list.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
thought
funny
you
thing.
were, you like
That is
that
true.
better than Say Anything?
Yes.
Wait a second. You know what's not on this list now that there's a lot of things that's not on this list, but Jaws. How is Jaws not on this list?
How often do you go back and watch Jaws?
I'll watch some of it. It's number 35 on my list.
Okay, now I'm gonna go look at the.
How is The Last Samurai not on this list?
Jaws didn't make my list. And I don't dislike it. I'm just looking.
Oh, I just have no desire to ever see the movie again.
Last Samurai. Not.
I was joking about that. I happen to.
It's
really
your number
like it.
36.
I have an
happen to like
ex-girlfriend
it.
that's in Jaws. She happens to
Is
be
she-
6, but it's yeah. Anyways,
So
I
Dave,
I
like-
know we are going to do another,
Yeah.
Wait a
at some
second.
point, look at all the things that didn't make the list, but I have a lot of movies that I knew nobody else would pick in a million years. So
Wait, before you jump into that, wait. Did anyone else other than me vote for Robinson Crusoe on Mars?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did. That's why it
Yeah.
showed
yeah,
up
there are
because
a couple.
I have Jaws and some other things higher, and okay.
Yeah.
Highlander.
My highest that wasn't on here was Schindler's List, so I had that as number 24 on my list.
yeah.
But
Again, I see. I every film in here, I have watched subsequent times or want to watch subsequent times. Schindler's List is brilliant. I never need to see that film again.
so you're
Yeah.
bringing up a good point, Todd, which is what really defines what populates our list. Is it rewatchability? Rewatchability is not one of my.
See, and that's the thing. I looked
Serious.
at this
for
from
me,
like
it was.
the Desert Island DVD category, where if I'm stuck with 100 films, can I live with these 100 films? And that's
Yeah.
what I did. And
Yeah.
there's absolutely brilliant films that I watched, I was blown away by, that aren't on here for that reason, because
Yeah, that was for me. It had to be about the movies that I've watched over and over and over again, and
Yeah.
You were
not-
stuck
not-
on a
'cause there
desert
are lots of
island.
movies I know are better films than some of these films.
And
oh
you
yeah,
didn't
no,
pick
there's no question.
Behind the Green
There's
Door?
no question.
Couldn't think of any.
I
other
didn't pick
porn
Star
movies.
Wars either, Dave.
Star Wars. Is that the name of that movie?
All right, so Daryl, you said you
By
had
the way-
another.
Oh
By the
yeah,
way,
yeah,
our
yeah.
friend-
So
Our friend this weekend is doing a Han and Leia scenario
Our friend.
on OnlyFans.
I'll ask you about that privately. Okay. I do have one more thing. So we were kind of dancing around this a little bit a couple times during the thing, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to go and gauge franchise impact.
Ooh.
How important that is to the regular Joes, because there's a lot of franchises out there. And I wanted to present it in a way that made sense visually. So have you guys ever done a word cloud? You've
Sure.
probably
Oh,
seen
yeah,
these
sure.
things. Yeah. It's a cool thing. You can go get the app to do that. So I weighted all of the franchises in our top 100 list. So even though if it didn't, a film may not, or a franchise may not have made the top 100 presentation, but I took all of our votes into
that makes sense.
consideration for this. So at the bottom of the list is Mission Impossible. I think we only had one film on there, and it was Dave's. It's Dave's choice. So a lot of Mission Impossible films hasn't made a big impact, not a big footprint for us. So I can't see. Let me move you guys over.
DC Extended Universe.
DC Extended Universe. We only had Wonder Woman making an entry on this universe, so that doesn't include the original Superman films or the modern Batman films. So DC Universe, as hard as they've tried, it's a mess and really haven't made much of an impact beyond one film. Followed by Superman. Superman actually, had a higher ranking, was more beloved than the modern stuff. Followed by Spider-Man. We had one Spider-Man film on the list,
One.
but
Yeah, just
Did
one.
stronger. Yep.
but I think a couple more showed up in the votes. Same as Superman. We had a couple more votes in there for Superman. So stronger weighting for Spider-Man, followed by Mad Max, the Mad Max film. So high rating for Road Warrior, I think.
Todd, did you have Fury Road up there?
I did. It
Todd
was below
did have
Mad Max,
Fury Road.
but it was in there. Yeah.
Yep. So Mad Max comes in ahead of Spider-Man even. Followed by Jurassic Park. So Jurassic Park, beloved, pretty much propelled by one film.
What are you drinking now, you alcoholic? What was that? Jesus Christ.
So here's the next one.
James Bond.
Above JP. And that's even though Goldfinger was the only one that cracked the top 100, other Bond films got votes.
No, Casino Royale was in there.
Casino Royale.
was in it
You're
too,
right. You're right. And Bond in total on our top 100 list, 6 different Bond films were nominated. So that's what helped propel the weight. So we're starting to get some of the weight of just the massive number of films they have. But it's interesting with so many Bond films, they just, many of them were not as great or not as beloved.
That's
Followed
true.
by X-Men. So X-Men starting to, strong showing, a couple of great X-Men films in there, followed by Back to the Future, which is pretty much the one film much beloved, and Barry also
Barry
liked.
had-
but because
Barry liked the
five,
sequel.
5 votes pulls it up that high.
Yeah, Barry liked the sequel. Yep, and the 5 votes were very high, especially for the original Back to the Future. Planet of the Apes, pretty much.
It
Yeah,
had to be one movie.
Only one movie, much beloved by all of us, and that's the weight where that fell. So that's as high as one movie can really get. After that, the Harry Potter. I had a ton of Harry Potter films on my list, so that kind of probably gave it weight. But one film we all love. Followed by Lord of the Rings. We had all 3 very strong showing. Then the Terminator, two films from the franchise, very strong showing. Followed by Blade Runner, much beloved. And then that's where Indiana Jones comes in.
And is that 10 votes? What 10 votes looks like?
That is Indiana
This is
Jones had
Based on
3.
size, not position, right?
It's aggregate impact.
I'm saying the bigger
did everyone
the movie,
vote
the bigger
for-
the
Yes.
print.
Did everyone vote for Raiders
Mhm.
and Last Crusade?
And
I had all
Exactly.
3. I had all 3 Indiana Jones movies in my list.
and Last Crusade and
You did?
somebody voted for Crystal Skull. No, they didn't. I'm kidding.
No, I did vote for. I did vote for.
It's Barry
Temple of Doom.
for Temple of Doom. So Indiana Jones very strong, and then Trek. So we had a scattering of Trek films
All right.
come in. Then Star Wars, and finally
Marvel, yeah.
Marvel.
I knew that was
So-
going to go big.
This was fascinating to me, and it's a tribute to both the quantity and quality of Marvel films, that they are in aggregate more important to this group than the Star Wars films. They've got a higher weight, and that will continue to grow. I expect.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
part
even
of
if
it
we
is-
voted
many.
for all 11 Star Wars films,
is
it would
right.
still there's still way so many more Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we didn't.
23 films in 10 years.
But there were
Okay.
a lot of Marvel films we didn't talk about that weren't
No,
on this list.
but again,
here.
but they pushed up the,
I think
I mean-
the bad Star Wars movies are much worse than the bad Marvel movies.
And I think that's it. The average Marvel movie is phenomenal.
If you take out Hulk and
Hulk's not
Hulk's not
a
Marvel.
sidecar.
I'm just saying, if you take
Incredible
those
Hulk.
out, because but even Incredible Hulk, I mean, it's
No, but
the
even
worst
then,
Star
it's
Wars
not.
movie's not as-
It's a Universal film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So stepping back from this, if I were 10 years
There's
ago,
just a lot of them. Yeah.
if I was going to advise Disney on which franchises they should buy, I'd say Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah, I think they
that's-
did all right.
Yeah.
Boy,
But when
if
you
could
look
just
at
get
this
money
word
off of
cloud for
that,
them,
the
10
only
years
thing,
ago.
right? They own Indiana Jones, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
They own Marvel. They own Star Wars.
They can build X-Men,
They own X-Men now.
Yeah.
They
Spider-Man, sort of.
Sony still has controlling interest in Spider-Man.
Isn't Terminator Fox? Don't they own Fox now too?
Jesus.
Oh, do they? Yeah. Yeah. I guess they do. So Disney controls a lot of our favorite franchises. so.
Yeah.
But they made Marvel. Come on. They were
Yeah, of course.
before that they were
Yeah.
a Paramount movie. That's about it.
Well, this was interesting.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a
this
lot of
good.
fun. We're closing in on 2 hours for show
Thanks,
number
gang.
2.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, and at some point, I don't know if it's the next show or soon, we'll talk about all the movies that didn't make the list.
It'd be interesting to see.
That'll be
yeah.
fun. I need a summer movie watching list. I've already got
one-hit wonders.
some
One-hit wonders.
Yep. And we'll go down that road.
personal favorites. People can evangelize for their underrated gems.
Funny, Todd, you just mentioned the one-hit wonders. That thing you do did make my top 100.
It did. It did.
But that would be the Oneaters, I think, not the Wonders.
Yeah.
The Oneaters, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So
All right.
that was quite the list. Let us know if there's a movie in your top 3 to 5 that didn't make our list. Surprising. It was riveting to the end, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I really was like, I didn't think Ghostbusters was gonna make it, and then I was gonna be like, what the hell?
I was worried about that and Planet of the Apes.
Me too.
So-
Me too.
So
So anyway,
I had faith.
but
so
I figured the top 20 was going to be what it was, just I didn't know the order.
yeah, but it's
thank
interesting
you
the power
to,
of 5
everyone
people
listening who stuck through this.
voting. You all win
Well,
a
you had
prize.
cocktails too, make it a little bit more
Yes,
easy to tolerate.
and likewise, all of you who have hung out with us for the last 8 years, it's been a whole lot of fun, and we hope you keep coming back.
And we
this
hope
is-
to be able to see some of you again in the future at
and
conventions.
this has been a really challenging year and a half, and you guys have been a big part of getting me through it, and I appreciate that. And I hope people at home, like I said, we hope to make that a little easier for you as we move on to better days.
We helped make it a little bit more enjoyable.
So, but
Absolutely.
better days ahead. And
And we're
I miss
actually all going to
lockdown.
be seeing each other in a few weeks, which we
In
haven't
very
done
few weeks,
in a
yep.
very long
So-
time.
so,
So we're looking
Yep.
forward to that. We're going to finally do our Christmas gift exchange.
yep.
Exactly. Christmas in June.
So
All
happy
right.
8 years, guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
you too.
Yeah.
To
Thank
you
you.
too, and thank you,
Hey.
Brian, and thank you, Daryl, and Daryl for all the hard work.
Yeah, you
Oh,
really
unbelievable
were
Unbelievable
the
job, Daryl.
above
This
and
is
beyond.
fantastic.
MVP
not-
for sure on this.
It's not work if it's fun. So, and thanks Brian for pushing me to go
Yep.
to go the extra mile.
So
Yep.
all 100.
It was
Yep.
great.
So
Great,
Daryl,
great.
can you send
Great
us the PowerPoint? Because my
Yeah.
kids want to see this top
Yeah.
100.
Oh yeah.
You got it. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll send it
Awesome.
over, and we'll get the recipes up for folks so they can drink along with us.
We'll do
That'd be
all
great.
of that. All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you. For
Is this where we start
definitely-
random topics?
Yeah. What's in the box?
I got all these boxes back here. I was saving.
All right, Dave, do it.
I'm just mesmerized by Todd drinking this bottle of scotch. But anyway,
We've known
You,
Todd for 20 years. We've never seen him drink this much.
I've
You guys,
never
you,
seen-
It's gone.
you all
Almost.
saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
Yeah. Hey Todd, save the show. Be sure to save it off.
Yeah, don't forget.
Yeah,
to save
please.
it,
What was Miriam drinking?
I'm sure it was scotch or something, right?
It was whiskey.
No, she was drinking cream soda.
Oh, was that what that is? Oh,
What?
that's so
Yes.
funny.
Yeah.
No,
it's-
what? No, that's what Karen
that is
Allen was
exact-
drinking.
Yes, that is exactly what she was
So
drinking.
you had finished that Macallan. I was like, Jesus.
I put the Macallan in another bottle, and I've been drinking that.
Oh,
for a while.
that's
Oh.
great. Because
Oh,
once you
okay.
found it, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, I had
I
a whole
was
bunch
gonna
of
start
shot
counting
glasses.
this
I was
thing
gonna
just to
do.
keep
I was
up with
gonna
them.
do the whole. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is. I put cream soda in here tonight before
Ah,
we started. So
Nice.
It's a sneaky bastard.
That makes me feel better for some reason. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I know. I was starting to think you had a problem we didn't know
Yeah.
about.
yep.
That's
well,
hilarious.
I just otherwise I would have drank half a fifth of scotch. So,
Yeah, that's what we were freaking out about.
We've been
All right.
watching you, wondering what the hell you were doing.
So
Well, that's only a 10.
Actually, it's been hard not laughing through it. So, anyways, yes.
All right. Well, thank you for bearing with us, everybody. And thanks. Looking forward to another 8 years. And thanks for listening.
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 You never walk alone.
Again.
Oh my God.
Oh.